No.
I just realized something.
Not that, guys. Not that, guys.
We might be audible.
Guys, that is not.
Well,
That is
besides
not gonna
that, I also can't get the Discord to do the announcement because I put it in the screen.
I can't.
Oh no! Alright,
Oh god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh
Next
shit!
time. Next time I should just pop out the cameras and put them on their own screen and have Discord on my other screen. Because I can pop that whole Discord part. I think.
No! Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Oh, thank god I'm still up here! Oh my god. How am I fucking live?
I think just for a moment I'm just gonna move it.
I just see you standing up there, like.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking.
There you go. Look right as we go out the door.
Unsuspecting flower children.
Oh no.
I'm just watching her up there,
That's
just like kind of shuffle around. Eventually, she'll hit the axe. I'm like, nope.
Just moving it for a second so I can do the announcement. It's fine. I got it.
Oh, dig it! I just did it.
No, get out of here. Delete that crap.
Delete it. I'll delete it. I'll delete it. Everyone just get a double at everyone. It's perfect.
Perfect. Everyone's gonna like look there and be like, "Where'd the message go?"
Yeah. Like surprise. Perfect. Guess.
I'm
Oh no.
fucked, aren't I? I am fucked, aren't I? I'm so fucked, aren't I? I'm so fucked, aren't I? Oh god, no! No!
Something one time.
Into the 50s? What the fuck? Did you see me get booped into that 50? Oh my god!
Everyone just flooding general with memes now.
Oh, it's almost evil. It's almost so evil. Holy shit. X equals 9? No. X equals block.
HFold103 just resubscribed at tier 1. HFold103 wants to tell you 13 months. That's almost a year. It's funny how they think they're still in control.
Surely I can make this, right? Surely I can make this.
And Hex does something I don't think any other streamer on Twitch does. They play everything through their OBS capture, and they have a bunch of crazy effects that chat can inflict upon them and utterly fuck over their day.
Not the boss.
Good God!
So, wait. What?
Beautiful and an
Hex,
ugly.
it says your party is full.
Mostly hideous.
Yes! Get fucked! Haha!
What? It just means we had time to have ads from.
Perfect.
What the fuck just happened?
Announcement of who's
Shoddy
like
Starfish
got
asked
what.
me, how many points was Shoddy's troll worth?
Oh.
Shoddy's troll?
How many points was Shoddy's troll worth?
100 points, but let's not dwell on it. Let's focus on the positive vibes and keep the
It's saying negative 100 points will never not be funny to me.
Yep.
You said it, Cousin Exile. Wow. It only took your hours. A new record for you.
Dead,
Good work,
bro.
kiddo. Now go rest so I get to watch you suffer and...
Boy, wait, why can't I move? Hello? Guys? Help me, I'm fucking stuck. Why can't I do anything? Ah! Game? Oh. Oh!
Peachy.
Oh my god! Oh shoot. My controller wasn't working for a second, and then I came back and I just smashed her with the
Booty, booty, booty.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my god, no. That was fucking hilarious.
Apparently I'm dying. Oh my fucking god. What the hell is this? Get wrecked! Get fucking wrecked! Clip that shit and send it to Geek! Clip that shit and send it to Geek! Clip it right now! Clip that shit and send that to Geek! One shot! Fuck your claws! Get out of
Yep.
here!
I think we get one stream a year now.
Yeah, yeah. Sad. At least they come back for once a year. I'm sure they're
For
just
now,
living their
anyway.
life. Living life, doing things.
How does
Hello,
this go?
chat.
I remember when Geek killed Mario Maker and then went away forever.
What? Edward Charm remembers.
Oh my god,
It's like, I know what I've done. I gotta get out of here.
I know I gotta go.
Oh my god.
I gotta go, guys.
Hello, everybody.
What's up?
Hello.
Let us let GLaDOS introduce what's going on for today, and then we'll start the fun.
Welcome to the first test. I mean, episode of Herbs and Spices, where subjects of the company discusses and argue about topics and objects to see if chat will react in positive or negative ways in order to feed our ad bots data to sell you more useless things in the future.
The Squaces.
The Squirrel in Flannel just resubscribed at Tier 1. The Squirrel in Flannel wants to tell you what's going on. It's funny how they think they're still in control.
I think that might have cut off the second
Today's
part.
topic
Oh,
is
there
the
it is.
Switch 2 launch and the games and products going with it. Let's introduce our host experiments. Today, evil artificial quotation, mark intelligence, end quotation mark, hexadecimal, pro streamer and musical maniac, Tanuki Dan, and the stabbing queen, art fiend, trip draws.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Herbs and
Yeah.
Spices, the episode 1. The Leaf
Heck
Gang's
yeah.
new podcast, hopefully weekly. We are gonna see.
It better be weekly. My God.
We have so
Yeah.
many streamers. Clearly we can make it happen. It might not always
We
be
summoned-
us, but it will be a lot of people. Our podcast is basically going to be gaming stuff, gaming drama thingies, but mostly we're just trying to take like good vibes about what's going on and just kind of explain our points of view on what's going on and just gaming things in general. Like obviously we're gonna all have our own opinions of stuff.
We're mainly just stealing everyone's talking points from gaming drama.
It's true.
So join the Discord today.
Yeah, this is gonna try to be a weekly thing. We're gonna do the live version on Twitch, and then we're gonna have an edited version put on YouTube to take out any cursing or whatever, and then like put that version also onto podcasty sites like iTunes and things like that, where we can put things. But this will be the live version. We'll ask questions and chat at certain points as well, just to, like, let chat be kind of partially involved.
Heck.
Taking out cussing is just because YouTube and all those other things are just kind of like against
YouTube's
it.
YouTube.
And as soon as you say
Yeah.
one curse word, they just take you off of they take you off of any trending.
Yeah, they destroy it.
Like they
Unless
just
you're
take
already
one
huge.
they take one curse word and your video just never goes anywhere. It just explodes. But yeah. So today's talking points will start with just what's going on, basically.
Next talking points will be Switch 2's being bricked, if
the wrong
modded and misinformation
Wrong
for
one,
this
wrong one.
product
That's the
launch and
next
gaming in
talking
general
one heard
Don't
lately.
worry that. Don't
No,
worry,
no one's
No one
here.
heard. No one
That was
hears that.
this one that we're talking about first.
First talking points will be general feelings about the Switch 2, the prices of the console accessories and games, Switch 2's specs. These topics all relatively mesh together.
Yeah. So generally, I'm really excited for the Switch 2. I have a lot of excitement for Switch 2, not only as a streamer but just as a Nintendo fan. Obviously, it's like nothing's perfect in the game world, but I'm excited for pretty much everything I saw with the Switch 2. In the direct, I was so hyped, and like the only thing that was a downer afterwards were people being upset about prices.
My favorite part about being pretty much having a Switch since release was how everyone the whole time was like, man, I sure wish we would get a more powerful Switch. I don't want them to do something weird this time. I hope that they just give us a more powerful Switch and I will be happy with that. Then immediately after Nintendo announcing a more powerful new Switch that can handle pretty much all new gaming coming out for the next 10 years, everyone was like, oh, this is so boring. I can't believe that they gave us just a more powerful Switch. I'm so mad. I'm going to post to Twitter. I'm just like, this is what I've been wanting.
Yeah.
This is it. I have no need for any other console. I just want a stronger Switch so good versions of other games will come to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did not get the first Switch on release. I got mine, I want to say it was 2019, so it was about 2 years after release. So I got the upgraded Joy-Cons. But it's gonna be. I think it's gonna
Jealous.
be really, really nice to
like-
get a game console on release because I've never done that before. So I'm pretty excited for that for sure.
I like how they made drifting a feature in this one with the mouses.
Drifting's a feature now. Well, what was it like Hall effects? Like everyone, I do think everyone's like a little justified in being mad that they aren't using the most precise form of like motion controls, and they're still using essentially the same technology, an improved version of the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. But I'm not much of a wiggle waggle guy anyway.
Yeah.
So like I just hope that we don't get the drift actually stays gone, because holy crap.
From what I've seen from the actual specifications for the new controllers, they are way better. Like,
yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna get that problem again.
I don't think so either.
But it's also probably why they're way more expensive now.
It is way more expensive. I will say, as much as I'm sad about how expensive everything in life has become, I'm also not shocked by it.
I also don't blame Nintendo for the prices, because you saw as soon as Nintendo was like, okay, the console's going to be this price, and then every other console company is like, and we're going to jack up our prices for things that are already old.
I feel like they were just waiting for Nintendo to announce their price before being like, yeah, now we're going to increase the cost of everything. Nintendo is the new console coming out. So like they're like, let's let this fall on Nintendo. I 100% feel like that was a marketing thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, like Nintendo's going to initiate the higher costs, and so now therefore we just have to do it too to like, play the same game, I guess. And that's not the case. Like they're making it more for various reasons.
See,
yeah.
I think
I mean, the Switch, it's like barely breaking even, right?
yeah, just like always, like almost
Like,
every Nintendo console almost makes no money by itself. Like I think that's one thing people
it's
don't
the game
realize.
sales.
The game sales make all the money for Nintendo. Like almost all,
Yeah.
they almost always just break solid for
I-
like their
I
consoles.
can't believe how greedy Nintendo is for always having the cheaper console for like 30 fucking years, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
That greedy company.
But hey, guys, don't worry.
Isn't-
The $450 Switch is Switch 2 is awful. But let's not look at Sony's PS5 Pro for $700. It's barely even an upgrade to their other console.
I can't believe Mario Kart 8 on its own is $80, but the version everyone's buying is only 50.
Yeah, exactly. See, I
Boo.
actually believe that was a PR mistake. I think that all the games, like the first party games on the console, are gonna be 70. But I think somebody at Nintendo was like, "Oh, but we're doing this combo deal for Mario Kart, so Mario Kart
Let's
should be a
make it
little
look
bit
extra
more.
good."
Let's make Mario Kart a little
Yeah.
bit more expensive to recover the cost for the $50 version that we're giving away with the console. So let's make it a little bit more expensive. It's not that bad. I think that was a PR mistake. I don't think the game is actually justified at 80. I think that was an accident. I think that it should have just been 70, and I think they just saw that they were giving it away for 50, and they were like, let's just make it a little bit more expensive for people who don't get it right away. Like that's basically what I'm saying.
I feel like it's this is going to be like where they put all their online resources.
Yeah.
This is what they've been working on for like 8 years now. I think they feel justified in its cost. Like it could be a PR thing. I think that they've just put so much into this. They're like, we're charging 80 for this. We got to.
That's fair too.
I definitely feel like this is a deliberate like price point, but just everything I've seen about the game, I at least me personally, I've seen Call of Duty's selling for like $120 on release for like the special edition to get all the extra guns and maps that you only get if you pre-order with the extra
all the Boogaloo
$120 edition. And you have to, if you want the special figurine, it's $200. And it's like, man, I can't believe Nintendo's the first people to do this.
No, yeah, exactly. Because like, when you think about it, like, look how many games are just like, oh yeah, buy our game for 70, but also buy our season pass that you definitely need to enjoy the actual game. Because if you don't buy the season pass, you'll get like half the content of the game.
Yep, and you have to buy the monthly online unless you got the Steam version.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have PlayStation Online or Xbox Online. And like, yeah, you gotta have Nintendo Online too, but it's like what, $12 a year? What is it? What's the cost for it now? Like
It
Nintendo
depends on
Online.
which one you get.
What membership you have?
Do I? I have the expansion, so mine's
But
a little more.
expansion is 34. Oh, that's the family. So
I mean,
what is the cost of
20,
the
right?
20 for the one where you get access to N64
Which is
games?
really good, by the way.
I think
I'm trying to remember how much they took out of my account now. Like
you
I
get a
don't
bunch
remember.
of Genesis games.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of Game Boy Advance. You're going to be getting GameCube games on Nintendo Switch too, and they're going to be enhanced GameCube games. And I've been watching some other people. There's a bunch of N64 games even on the Switch 1 that I've seen have enhancements. Pilot Wings for one of them is like full like widescreen with enhanced graphics. Looks amazing, 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Man.
So I mean, I personally think it's worth it. I as someone who plays games constantly,
I will say that some of the accessories for Switch 2 are a little too expensive. I feel like it's a little bit like Apple like overprices their products. I think they're cool for some things, like the camera, like the Piranha Plant camera. That was pretty kick-ass. But it's like,
it's like the 480p camera
yeah, it's like
for
a
$60.
480 camera. Like come on, bro. I was getting 480p cameras for like $10 like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's so funny how much more it costs when the standard one is better quality, and it's like what like. It's a good bit cheaper. Like,
yeah.
It's really funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're just charging more for the Piranha Plant because it's like, you know,
I mean,
a
it's
Piranha
Nintendo,
Plant.
and it's like the reason they have Amiibos cost so much.
God, I will say I don't like what the Amiibos are now $30.
Oh god. Man.
I'm starting to
Let's
call this
see
the
here.
Nintendo tax, where like anything that has
Yeah.
the Nintendo brand is just like an extra $20.
Whenever I do Nintendo tattoos one day, I'm gonna have to charge a fee. Be like, this is a trademarked Nintendo character. You gotta pay me a
You
little
gotta pay.
extra.
You gotta pay
You
the
better be
fee.
careful, Trip. They might come find you and be like, "You gotta pay us in order to do Nintendo
Yeah.
characters
Yeah.
on bodies." A Nintendo ninja just walk into the tattoo shop one day.
What happened to my wife?
Don't worry, sir.
Where'd
She's in
she
a better
go?
place.
She's in a better place.
Goodness.
That reminded me of the ape riding wife me for some reason.
Life good, riding wife. Wife fight back. Kill wife. Regret.
Think about wife. And
Think
get
about wife.
Sad.
sad.
Oh god. But
I'm honestly super hyped about the Switch 2. I think the mouse feature is going to bring about some
I think
amazing revivals.
The mouse
That's gonna be
stuff is
cool
actually
for
really
Mario
cool.
Party.
Yeah. The mouse feed
Mhm.
functionality in general is really cool. I'm actually interested if you could hook up a normal mouse to it as well, because it does have the ability to put like regular cameras. Like, people don't seem to realize this. You can also hook up third-party shit to Nintendo Switch 2s, which is not the thing that they've ever let you do before.
No, like no console lets you do that.
Yeah,
No
that is
you have to
very
get the
new.
special edition. I would say like microphones, they've been like let you do like third-party microphones.
Yeah.
But like you hook it up to the Xbox controller or whatever, but like they've never been able, you have to use like the Xbox camera, you have to use the Kinect, or you have to use the Sony camera if you want to use it, blah blah blah. And like there's no other, you're spending like $100 for this camera, but other than using it for like a specific games, there's nothing like the Switch 2 did with it, where it's like over your head is a little icon or whatever. You blue shell somebody and go past them, and you can like flip them off as you go. You know, like you couldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, this also opens up a lot of really interesting things for different types of games, like MMOs, RPGs, tactics games, where you have to like
RTS is what I'm excited
RTSs. Yeah,
about.
that's what I'm saying. RTSs, like those are very mouse heavy.
There was an and this is actually was on the site. I was able to find like the previous leak or whatever. It's gone now, but there was a SKU model for a mouse like mold for you to put the Joy-Con in that turned it into an actual
I
mouse.
remember seeing that.
Okay.
And and like people were able to actually pre-order it in store, even though it was taken off online. And I'm not sure if they're still going through with
Only
that, but it was
$200,
a
no.
it was $14. It was a
14. That's actually not bad.
Yeah, $14.99 for a little thing. Like, of course, like it's just a little piece of plastic you put the Joy-Con in is what I'm thinking is all as it is.
Yeah.
But even still though, the fact that like Nintendo that makes me think that they know. I think Nintendo is like, we're going to be doing something cool with the mouse.
Yeah, I think that's really neat.
I will say though, that freaking Switch 2 tutorial / demo thing,
That is
being
a travesty.
$10 game, that's a travesty.
ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know who in Nintendo decided that was a good idea, when literally on the Wii U we got one of the best games ever made for free.
Yeah.
And that was a tutorial version of a game to show off how the game works. Like,
Nintendo Land masterpiece, Wii Sports masterpiece. Switch 1 didn't really have anything either, but like it's still a shame that Switch 2 is going to $10 for a literal thing with tutorial in the title. Like, no, man.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's so bad. I think they should really reconsider that before launch and just give it away. I don't care if it's
It's
$1.
like 1-2 Switch should have been free as well. That's what,
I agree.
That's what
I think
Switch 1-2 Switch should have been free.
I think that also like made them make it cost money for this one too, because 1-2-3 Switch apparently did pretty well.
They made a sequel to it. The sequel did not so well.
No, the sequel didn't, but the original did, which I think was the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's like, we could make money from this. Like, I will say, like, this isn't going to be a strictly we love Nintendo. As a Nintendo fan, we hate Nintendo.
Did you?
Because they
As a Nintendo fan, Nintendo's awful, but I love their games.
Yeah, their games are amazing.
Didn't PlayStation release like a tutorial for free? And that's freaking PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah,
To be
that's
fair,
PlayStation.
PlayStation and Xbox have slowly like made a lot of their products more accessible and easier to do stuff with. I wouldn't say like for everything. Xbox, I think, has done a lot of really good things with their live service for PC and stuff. Like where
Yeah.
they're pretty much just branching away from the idea of exclusivity, and they're just trying to make things more accessible through their stuff, so they can still make money, kind of like Steam.
Here's the big thing about exclusive stuff with PlayStation and Xbox is that they've been screwing over the software companies that they've
Yeah.
been getting exclusivity deals with. So like Square is straight up mad at Sony right now. And like we're so
Yeah.
excited to work with Nintendo Switch 2. Boy,
From
we can't
Software
wait
as
to give
well.
all the six.
Yeah.
Yeah, From Software is literally making essentially a World Bloodborne 2, but like but Fortnite for the
Yeah.
Switch 2.
That's gonna be really cool for streaming. I'm just saying.
It's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna
I
be
think
an
it's gonna be
amazing
great.
streamer game.
I think
like,
it's
oh
gonna be
my.
great. But like they literally only are making that because they're like Sony screwed us. They won't let me port
Yeah.
Bloodborne to anything.
See,
The exclusivity deals completely screwed us.
I will say for Nintendo is one of the few things that treats their partner companies really well.
Yep.
In general, they give them good percentage cuts for everything. They don't try to screw them. They promote their stuff a lot. Even the indie stuff. Like, how many of the other companies do you see them do indie showcases ever?
Yeah. And another thing is like they always talk about how like their games sell better on Nintendo consoles. Their indie
Yeah.
games sell better. And they get more for equal sales. Like Nintendo always gave them a bigger cut, even on the Wii U, when a bunch of indie games were like just like that's like kind of like the beginning of indie games kind of taking off. Wii U, 360, Xbox One, PlayStation, like the online markets and whatnot. They're like, yeah, we're putting our stuff on Wii U because we make more.
Definitely.
And it's got.
Go ahead.
Especially like since there wasn't as many third party like big games on the Wii U, the indie games always sold more on the Wii U because like the people on the Wii U sadly were kind of game hungry. I will, as a Wii U owner, I did have some regrets. Square Enix Manic Corners circa 1995, 100%.
We all know
Yeah,
the Wii
it's
U
always
was
been
just
good.
for the Wii U was just for Smash. That's all it was. Like the Smash console.
The Smash machine. What game is on the Wii U now that wasn't ported to the Switch? It's kind of funny how the Switch 1 is essentially just the Wii U Take Two.
Yeah.
We're just gonna re-release everything again. And even still, I love the Switch.
A lot of Wii U
For
stuff ended up on
me,
there.
yeah, for me, I was like, this is fine because I never had a Wii U, so I'm like, sweet, now I can actually play these games now. like this is fine with me. Like, sure, I'll buy the reports, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
That's another thing about the Switch 2 that I'm excited about is there's just a lot of games on the Switch that I just want to replay and they're gonna work better and have extra content on the Switch 2. So like that they're like, oh, the Switch 2 is expensive, and I'm not saying it's not, but it's also like just everything is more expensive.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Switch 2 is going to come out, I'm immediately going to have so much free content or just extra content for these games I know I love for like $10 more, if not free, is pretty awesome. I'm super excited to play Link's Awakening immediately because the slowdown and whatnot did suck on the Switch 1.
Ow.
yeah.
And it's not going to be on the
Tears of
Switch
Kingdom
2.
as well.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah.
Going back to the prices and stuff. Sorry. Going back to those prices and stuff. Like, if we're looking at the actual cost for the Switch, it's $450. It's not that bad. Like, if you're talking about like years later, the original like Nintendo consoles were a lot more expensive than people remember. I know a lot of people just go, "Oh my god, the GameCube was $99," and I'm like, "No, it wasn't. It was not $99 when it released. It was around $300. However, it did so bad and almost bankrupted Nintendo that they dropped the price everywhere to get it to sell."
I know in America it was like $199, and then it immediately dropped to like $150. I remember like that holiday system. It was like, all right, get it for $150, and then like you can buy Smash Brothers as well for 60.
And then because they dropped the price so ridiculously and almost like because the company was just going under at that point, and they sold like a bunch of like they sold almost all the GameCubes, and then like they sold a ton of games because everyone had GameCubes, and that made
Yeah.
them go, why don't we always just start taking losses on consoles or like around losses on consoles? So that's why like their Switches and everything and their Wii's and all that were really affordable because
Yeah.
they basically were just making a for cost and then sold software. That's kind of how their model went from there, and it kind of still is. Like even looking at like if you look at like the specs and stuff for the actual like Switch 2, it's like twice as good as the original Switch.
Yep.
And like twice as good as actually like it's even more than twice as good in some capacities, especially in docked mode now that it has like its own like cooler and its like power supply and everything. It is like
Yep.
so much better than the Switch and only for $150 more. That is
Yep.
actually insane because if this was like a phone or a tablet or anything else mobile and it was twice or three times as good as the last product, it would be like $500 more.
Oh god, yeah. A phone comparable of the like the
That's
specs of the graphic card's really like $700 right now, which is
Yeah.
insane. What is the cost of let's say like a new iPhone? What
the new
model is that
iPhone's
right now?
ridiculous.
So
Is it like 16? I
16,
don't
I
even
think
know.
yeah,
17 is coming out.
so the cheapest model is $599. The Pro Max is $1,200.
Yeah. And the Pro Max probably has less specs or close to the same specs. Maybe it actually probably is just less specs than the Nintendo Switch right now. Like for how much power that the Switch 2 actually has in handheld mode.
Yeah,
and
it's
in
not. It's less power than the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like let me just pay
But
like the cost
but
of
the
a
Switch 2
mortgage
is
for
actually more powerful than the Stream Deck. Fun.
Yep.
And
Yep.
from what I've seen from like reviews of like their software so far, it's looking like most games will never drop below like 30 to 40 frames on handheld, which is insanely good because that was one of the problems I had with the Switch one is like if I ever did mobile gaming, shit would drop frames so hard it would hurt my eyes.
I think the only thing that the Steam Deck does have over the Switch 2 is like more RAM. The RAM on the Steam Deck is 16 gigabytes versus 12.
Yeah.
But it's also the even though it's more, the Switch 2 has a enhanced version of the LPDDR5. It's a LPDDR5X.
Yeah, it's a
So
better
it might run.
it's
Yeah,
a
it's
better
better.
chip.
Yeah, it's a
It's not
better
more,
chip, even though it's less.
That's
Yeah.
kind of like why we're still running like 8 gigabyte. Like a lot of people are still running 8 gigabyte computers because the RAM has just gotten better and it processes faster. So
Yeah,
like
so I remember having an 8 gigabyte stick of RAM from like 10 years ago is not going to be the same as the 8 gigabyte stick of RAM.
Yeah.
DDR like 7 whatever.
People get caught up with numbers a bit too much when it comes to like gigabytes and stuff, especially if you look at like hardware and for like graphics cards and RAM, because like you have to look at the processing power of those things because a lot of times they're just better, but like the
Yep.
clock speeds are higher and all that, and those are the things that matter over like the actual number of the gigabytes. Like because you've had like multiple generations of like just graphics cards that literally say the same thing except
Yeah.
except this one is clocks faster. Like that's it, and it makes the game
Yeah.
look way better and run better and all that. It's just because things get better. So they are comparable. but I
Royal
definitely-
Land Shake It is so good, Volt.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I think the specs are good. I'm happy with them. It's just I love the dock. The dock is probably my favorite new thing that they like did. Like, cause that was what
Yeah.
I wanted. I literally, for the entirety of the Switch's life, I was like, please just give us an expansion for the dock to make games run better. That's all I wanted the whole time the Switch was out. I wanted to have a thing that made the games run better with a better thing, because the Switch One's dock is literally just a piece of plastic.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's nothing.
It's a piece of plastic with a small board on it that lets you split the things that connect to the board. That's it. Like there's nothing on there. It's basically nothing. The Switch
Yeah.
2's dock is a powerful fan to keep it cool, a power supply to make it powered better, so it doesn't like lag on certain things by using the battery too much, and then
Yeah.
it also has a built-in Ethernet port. Oh my god, thank Christ. Please stop using Wi-Fi for your Switch 2 online, thank you.
Yes, but I will say though, it does have an enhanced Wi-Fi connector on it. I forget what it was called, but it does have a better Wi-Fi
does.
connection than the Switch one does have.
has
But I'm never going to use
It
it.
has the improved Wi-Fi port that like a lot of good laptops have.
I'm going to be just plugging in directly. There's
I highly recommend that everyone plug your Switches in for optimal gameplay. Trip draws, I will buy you an extended cord that goes all the way to your office.
I drilled a hole in the wall for just a connector to go in there for.
Yeah,
It's like,
I think it is. I think it is connected now. Yeah.
Oh hell
like,
yeah! Mario
it's
Party
the
Jamboree, let's go.
Mario Party Jamboree just still disconnects us for some reason. I don't understand why.
I just play
Yeah.
Nintendo servers at that point. I'm really hoping that their Nintendo servers for online are better, like
Man, me
in
too.
general, because that's one of the problems that Nintendo had for all of their online gaming for the longest time. Smash Brothers Online is ass. The only service that is actually good online for Switch 1 is probably Mario Kart. Like,
yeah.
And I think that's just because they have way better servers on Mario Kart than anything else.
Yeah, Mario Kart and Tetris 99.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
those
their
two are
99
great.
game things, they have really good servers.
God, F-Zero.
F-Zero
turn it on
99.
right now.
F-Zero 99 is one of my favorite 99 games. I played the shit out of that for like 3 months.
Yeah. And they've added some. There was a Satellaview version from like 1994, Japan only, accessible via this satellite expansion for the Super Nintendo that was lost for like 20 years, 20, 30 years. This just entire game just missing, and all those maps were ported to the F-Zero 99. So many people are seeing brand new F-Zero maps for the very first time.
Yeah. That was really cool. I actually didn't realize that until like later when I saw like this whole like video project about F-Zero, and I was like, oh my god, those maps have never been seen by the human eyes.
It's insane. It is insane. And the fact that Nintendo did that, I think we're gonna be seeing a wild new change for this next console. Like, I think it's going to be amazing.
It's funny enough that F-Zero 99, I'm pretty sure inspired knockout mode in the new Mario Kart, like for sure.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Like, 'cause it works the same. Like, if you're in the last couple positions, it just kicks you out. You're done. You lost, and then you have to race to the next one if you're ahead. Like, that's so cool. Let's go to the next talking points. Like, I think we're pretty good on all the other things, accessories and stuff, unless you guys have anything else to bring up.
I mean,
I'm feeling pretty good about it.
I guess just like storage space. Like, it
Mhm.
has way more storage space, 256 gigabytes, which is way more than what the old Switch had. Like,
True.
I will say this. That's like for like first party releases still, though, because the games are now a lot bigger. But I mean,
true.
It's maybe more,
It
but
does let you put an expansion slot in on top of that though, which is fine.
Yeah,
And
you
can get like
the
you can get like a terabyte
Yeah.
tiny stick now, which is insane, by the way.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
can get
a terabyte
micro
SD
SD
card.
Like, that is insane. I can't believe you can get
Yeah.
a terabyte SD card now. That blows my brain.
It's like that. I will say this: like the terabyte card's like $150, I think. So
Yeah.
like, I mean,
it's not even that
almost the
bad.
cost. It's still not that bad, but it's.
Isn't there like how much a terabyte hard drive was like 6 years ago, where they were like $700?
They were like $700. I had to, when the great Twitch purge happened, and I had to like delete everything. I downloaded like 200 VODs and highlights and stuff like that, and I used like half a terabyte.
Yeah.
Like I think that drive I got was like a $250 drive.
Jesus.
Thank you again, Cubs Mama.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so what's the next topic, Gladys? Gladys.
Next talking points will be Switch 2's being bricked, if modded and misinformation for this product launch and gaming in general lately.
So this one's been a bit of a topic,
Oh, yes.
you know? Like, ever since the Switch 2 Direct, there has been, like, constant misinformation about a bunch of stuff, and I know why it happened, but it's silly that so many people now in just gaming news in general are just like, they see something or they hear something and then just put it on their things. Big drama, the gaming industry ruined by Nintendo. It's like clickbait, like crazy shit. And then like when you actually go to the video, they're like, well, anyway, so this video came out because like, and it's like half of nothing of what they're actually have been like trying to clickbait. And like half the gaming industry feels like it's drama bait now. And everyone
it is
overreacts.
100% negativity for clicks. Now, as there, it's kind of like the whole like Switch card thing. Like it has like the little key code, and you buy a card, and there's no actually data on the physical copies. I hate to say it, they've been doing that since Wii U period. You know, not for the Wii U, but PlayStation 4, Xbox One onward. You're just buying a game code, and Nintendo is the only one that allows you to actually resell that key that would just be a download-only copy. It's generally EA and companies like that doing that.
Dude,
but like this has been.
There have been consoles since the 360 that you buy a game disc and the game disc has nothing on it and it just makes you download the game online. And that was back in the day. That was back in the day where like online was horrible.
Oh, your physical box where I watch it. Uh-oh, just the code in it. Yep.
Exactly.
And they'll label it on the thing. But here's the thing. The Switch 2 is going to be the only one. Now, I'm not saying I like this. I don't like this practice. I'm just saying the Switch 2 is the only one that lets you give that copy, that even though it's just a key card, you can sell that key card to a friend or whatever, take it to a GameStop and trade it in, and then someone can buy that game and still be able to play it. Even though it's just a key code, like you can't do that with just the keys that you would buy. Like, say, for example, you bought a physical copy of Overwatch that was just a code. You can't trade that back in. You can't sell that to anyone else. Exactly. But that key card does let you trade it in. I'm still not a fan of the practice. I hate when games aren't actually on physical media. I think that's kind of a big problem where, like Steam, for example, there are numerous games that I bought before, including Final Fantasy VII, that they just removed my access to, and then they uploaded a new version of Final Fantasy VII, and I had to buy it again because the original version of it that I had is no longer available on Steam.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like problems with just digital versions of stuff in general, and I think that's just a problem in the gaming industry in general. I think that there needs to be different laws involved with that sort of thing, where like if you buy something online, the service to download that bought product needs to always be there as like a server backup.
Shout out GOG.
Like even if a company goes under, they need to have like safeguards in those companies to be like, you can download those things forever. Like make them invest part of their money into a server that they can have running for like 70 years. Like, come on, it's not that much to run a server that has game data on it that you could let people download from. I know how much that shit costs. It's not that much, especially for how much money companies like Steam, Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo make. You could have all of your services running forever and have all your game backups running forever for people to download forever.
They can't. Their profits are available online. They can't act like they can't afford to do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, whenever people remove that sort of shit, it's stupid.
A 200 kilobyte ROM, they have to delete it. You have to buy it again for $15.
God.
The Bubsy Ultimate Collection coming now.
Yeah.
$29.99.
I've actually made this joke about how many times do you think I've rebought in Mario Kart 64, and the answer will surprise you.
Wii U. I think it was on the 3DS too, wasn't it? Was it on the 3DS? I think it was, but I could be wrong.
So like,
I bought Mario Kart 64 so many times.
But Nintendo literally knows I've bought those things before. Like I've had the same account forever, so they know I've bought this shit already. That's another thing.
Yep.
Because your accounts on these like sort of services, they know you bought them. They have those records. They know that it's there. Which is
I
why
am
I'm kind
so
of happy
glad.
that the Switch 2 is kind of like having the merged account thing now, where it's like you own
Yeah.
this game,
Everything I bought in the Switch 1 is going to be on the Switch 2.
which is not
That's
something that
awesome.
Nintendo's really done much before. Yeah, you can
They have
technically
never embraced
transfer.
that.
You can technically transfer stuff from the Wii U over to the Switch, but only some games. This time they're
Yeah.
like all of the games. They're yours. You don't get to
All,
lose.
yeah.
Yeah, thank God.
I feel like in some ways, it's once again, I'm a Nintendo fan. I hate Nintendo. Thus, I just. And I feel like I wish they'd done this sooner. I will say that, like, ever since like PlayStation 3, I could buy stuff in the PlayStation market and then play it on the next console. Now, that being said, I've not had it. I got sick of Sony after the PS3. I was like, PS4, PS5, PS5 Plus, Pro, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't like Sony anymore, and that makes me sad to say because I've loved PlayStation 1. I love PlayStation 2. I love PlayStation 3. I don't care about Sony.
I literally have a PlayStation
like
5 because I got it for free.
that's awesome.
Hey, yeah.
You could play Astrobot and that's it.
Yeah, Astrobot. I mean, 90% of the stuff that Astrobot and God of War, but like 90% of the stuff on the Switch that I could, or on the PlayStation 5, I can play on Steam. Like after like 6 months most of the time, because they mostly only have timed exclusives now because most companies are tired of them. Like if you agree to anything other than a timed exclusive as a game dev, you're making a mistake.
I have some interesting things to say. Can you believe that Switch 2, Nintendo is going to brick consoles that mod?
Oh,
this has never been done before. Yes, it has.
Yes, it has. I almost.
It already has with the Switch 1 even. Like
Yeah.
The Switch 1, you'll get banned at the very least, but oftentimes there's anti-temper stuff put into since Xbox 360.
This has been a thing forever. Like, yeah, everyone's like, "Oh my god, the Switch 2 put it in their thing about like, oh, you can't do it, you can't mod your Switch if you get caught, we break your system." And it's like, that has literally been a thing since forever on every console. If you mod your console, it is in there, literally in the information when you buy a console. It says, if you modify this console, not only is your everything void, like all your
everything
warranty,
is void.
Everything is void.
If you go online with it,
your
your
online
account.
Yeah, everything gets destroyed. Like you basically lose everything. They won't let you access the internet anymore, and in a lot of cases, they just won't let you play games on it anymore. I've seen that happen with PlayStations and Xboxes. I had to buy multiple Xboxes because I did that once. When I was younger, I modded shit all the time, and like that was the risk of modding. That has been the risk of modding the entirety of a gaming forever.
And just for how common it is for companies to do this, Apple actually there was a lawsuit with Apple because they were intentionally not just like locking them out of their phone, but doing the bricking of the entire phone. If you modified your Apple iPhone to do anything besides what they wanted you to do with it, sometimes even just having custom apps put into it, not from the App Store, they would completely brick your phone. So even if like Nintendo wanted to have like a remote kill switch or whatever, like Nintendo can't even do that really, technically. They can have the software in it to like you modify it to text it and that causes it to brick, but they don't have like a button like, oh, we're going to kill this account right now, because they legally can't.
Yeah.
But like every other console, if you modify something, they can have a thing where it makes the software not work, and then you have to go in and manually repatch the original fresh install back onto it, and then it'll function again, unless you damage the hardware when modding it.
Yeah, but here's like another thing. Like we had the same thing happen with Nintendo Switch, with troll levels in Mario Maker. Using glitches in levels is against their code of conduct and things like that. So they can just, if you get enough reports on your levels, they can take it down, and they can issue warnings after a while if you keep doing it. If you get enough warnings, they can just ban you, because just like any other game, if you're using exploits, you can get banned in those games. Like you can just lose access into any game. I have played World of Warcraft for almost 20 years. I guarantee you that if you ever use an exploit in that game and you know you're using an exploit in that game and they catch you, they will be like, goodbye, 17-year-old account. I hope catching those extra fish was worth it. Like,
Yeah, I hope catching those extra fish was worth it.
And there's no talking your way out of it. They're just, bye, account. We don't, thanks for all your money for all the years. Check you later. Like, that is within their right as the people running the game and like owning the game properties and running the servers. If you're caught modifying stuff or using exploits, they can just ban you. That's been a case forever.
Yep.
Trip.
Oh, that is interesting, Lich Kirby. Concerned about using recordings from the camera / voice chat as evidence.
Oh wow, yeah.
Man, I don't know anything about that. Are they
I heard
recording?
about that.
Are they recording?
They said
the voice
in their updated thing with the bricking thing as well. They updated a thing that says that we can, like, you're not allowed to use the webcam stuff for illicit stuff, and that we can use the recordings as evidence that you are using it for illicit stuff. However,
makes sense.
they also say
I
the
just
same.
don't think they would do that.
They also said the same
don't think
thing
they
on.
recorded.
They also say the same thing on Discord.
Yeah, they do say the same thing on Discord. That is true.
That is literally just something that also happens on, guess what? Xbox. You know where else that also happens? Sony. But they've always done that because they want you to not be running Pornhub on your porn stuff going on for your stuff. They don't want you to be playing strip poker, playing like Uno and stuff, which was very popular for a while. I remember.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, they know
those are
people
things that
will.
they don't want you to do. So it's in their things where they're like, yeah, if you do this and we catch you, you're gonna be in trouble and we're gonna ban you and all that. And they'll use
maybe it's something. Maybe like if it's like keywords or something like that. Like if I say like
what it most likely is they probably do keep a recorded record of like things going on within like a week, and then it all gets deleted and they keep it for a week. So if you get reported. So if you get reported, they can look at the data and they can go, oh yeah, this person was doing something wrong in this video in this time period, and then they'll ban you. They're not keeping it forever though. There's no way, because I can guarantee you it's too much information for one.
They don't want to pay for online servers. That's why the Switch 1 was like trash talked into the dirt. Nintendo stopped releasing online games like with online play, with the exception of a few 99 games here and there, like the WarioWare and like there's a bunch of different games that came out that would have been great with like multiplayer featured that just had couch co-op.
Yeah.
Like it is like this would have been Wario for the Switch would have been a great online game, but the online was so bad, including like Mario Maker. Mario Maker 2 online died months after release because the online was just so bad because they didn't want to support it. So there's no way they're keeping recordings more from, like you said, than like a week. And like I'm honestly wondering if they even do it like that. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do it like a lot of times, like Discord, it's someone will have to be reported and then they start monitoring and recording like calls and stuff like that. So I'm kind of wondering if it even might be something like that, like until an account gets reported, they don't listen in.
And I'm gonna be honest, Nintendo is cheap as fuck, so they'd have to hire staff in order to be moderating that shit. And last time I checked,
they don't want to do
half
that.
of the time they have shit for their moderating, even in like the troll level like scenarios and all that. All that shit's bots.
That's why Mario Kart's $80. That's why it's $80. They had to hire someone to listen to. They're listening to children swear at each other and like. Well, like
so much
little
money
Timmy
to
said a
moderate that
slur.
sort of thing. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Look at when what was it, the NSA or whatever, like back when they were like, we're gonna monitor everything on the internet and view everything. I remember like the meme of like, just make more garbage, send it all out there so they have to watch everything.
Watch everything.
Drive them insane.
Drive them insane.
It's definitely a valid concern, I would say, just because like of all the things that have come out with like well, I guess Apple, for example, recently, like
the listening.
Yeah, like your phone is literally listening to you, which it is. It absolutely is. 100%. That's why you get targeted ads.
Yeah,
like,
I need to buy some soap today. Oh look, I just got an ad for Mr. for
there
soap.
was this
Mr.
amazing
Bubble.
thing where I was talking about D&D for a while, and I suddenly started getting Amazon ads for D&D products, and I was like, motherfuckers.
I was literally talking to my mom one day about Pampers. I was like, "Hey mom, watch this. I'm going to talk to you about Pampers diapers." Okay, now let's wait to see if we get an ad. And like an hour later, I want to say I was on like Instagram and they showed me like a sponsored post for Pampers.
Crazy.
And I was like, "Yeah, okay." Well, there we go. So
don't worry, I'm only gonna report you all the time.
Every time you accept cookies and anything, every time you like agree to any sort of like online thing, and they just constantly monitor you for keywords, like vocal or otherwise. Like that is just the age we live in technology. But they aren't recording everything. I think people get that confused. They aren't recording; they're just listening for keywords. They're listening for specific things. Those things they can then like look for and then be like this stuff and then all that, because they got to remember how much information it would cost for them to record all that crap. Like it would be so expensive. It would defeat the purpose. But listening for keywords or things like that is cheap. Siri already does that.
I can
Siri,
see Lich like turn off. Listen again. So like Lich is concerned. Like,
don't turn off my phone.
Misconstrued. Oh god, the stream just abruptly ends.
It's trying to turn everything off. Siri, I'm good. Please go away.
Listening in, yo, Senator Bus. So like I think you don't have to worry about too much. I think that's gonna be like it's gonna take a bunch of manual reportings, and like generally where you can use voice and camera, it's only within like friend groups. So like I don't think that's once again, I think this is just speculation here, and until this is one of those things like until we know, we don't know. But I honestly just Nintendo is so cheap. Yeah. And also so bad about monitoring things. Like once again, even like going back to like Mario Maker 2 with the troll levels that use the glitches. We did testing and got information from Psychro, like the dude who essentially breaks the Switch 2 and modifies the game files and make crazy glitches within Mario Maker. That it pretty much takes a manual report. And within each level of Mario Maker 2, there is Ninja data for like how the player uploaded it. And or how the player traveled through it and when he played it themselves. So just it looks for speed, movement with the little ninja character going faster than they allowed to be considered okay. There's no speed that is or like if the player goes this fast or a glitch and teleport.
Or they hit something that shouldn't be where it is, positional data and stuff like that. Like they know
exactly.
They can tell.
And that's when they remove a level for using glitches, is that they use the Ninja data from the upload or the player's playthrough to detect illegal movement via their own standards. And I think...
all that's bots, though. Like, that's the thing. Everything is just bots with them. That's all, like...
it's all bots. It's all automated. It's not someone actually listening to it. And I think that's what's going to happen.
They're so cheap, they don't even have the bots running 24/7, by the way. They only have the bots run on certain days of the week, which is why we figured out in the Mario Maker troll community to do upload parties on Fridays and lift all of our levels up for the entire weekend, because they don't do bot checks for levels until Mondays.
They only Monday through Thursday is the only days that they look for glitches in levels. The bots don't work constantly.
So they're so cheap they don't even have their bots running all the time.
So like if you're worried about someone listening into your call, I think that's it. You're gonna have to be. This is like you have to be Jared Fogle on the Switch 2 for them to be looking for reading conversations.
I think the only time they're ever going to do this is they're being reported by players, and then they'll have somebody go monitor you, just like almost every other game. If you get reported by players, they'll have somebody be like, okay, this person's been reported a bunch. Let's just check if they're cursing or swearing or being derogatory or whatever. And that's the only time you're going to get checked.
It's like random people in the Smash Bros Melee community when they get like oh, we think this person's a groomer, and that's when they start recording the Discord calls. Is when the legal matters start getting brought up and brought into it. And also that's a topic for another day. Why is there so much creepiness in the Smash Brothers Melee community? But that's not today's podcast. That's
a drama alert.
That's a different
drama alert
podcast. That's a drama alert.
Why are there so many sexual predators in the community? Oh my god!
Why? Do they use scent to lure in victims? To find out next time on Herbs
it
and
because the
spices.
game has the word smash in it?
Pervs
Like-
and pervs and spices.
Herbs and Damn, I got so many stories for that one. I was kind of talking about this yesterday, how like at GDQ there is so much crazy like sex parties and stuff like that. Nerds are freaky, man. But once again, that's next time.
That's
next time. Suddenly, I'm never invited to. I'm
that-
never invited to GDQ again.
That version is for the Only Dance version of the stream.
gosh.
No,
Wait, what?
Nerds are wild, Senator Bus. Yes,
Oh.
yes. I was invited to a party, and I was like, I'm not going. But hold up, buying my GDQ ticket. You weren't Pops about that? Nah, I think Pops is gonna be like me. He's like, well, I'm too shy for this. I'm gonna go walk away.
All right.
Pops is like, I'm gonna go home and play video games.
I'm sure each time I couldn't go to the GDQ sex parties.
At least not when they were there. God.
Yeah, I had to wait for. That's why she's staying home this year.
Oh,
Exactly.
man. Like it's like when you play D&D and you get invited to the wrong dungeon.
Yeah, I hit it to the wrong dungeon.
Oh, this isn't what.
I thought this was the Satanist convention. Why is everyone just eating Twinkies?
Oh,
All right.
Oh God! All right.
Let's go. Do you guys have anything else to bring up about modding or switch bricking or anything like that, or like any other sort of personal data leaking and all that?
I just my last point about it really is just that I feel like it's a lot of hubbub about things that have been normal for a very long time. Like I can't like we live in a world where stuff like this has to be monitored in some form or way. And like if you're using Discord, if you're using Facebook, if you're using any social media, if you logged into Twitch, all that information's already being recorded.
Yeah.
Like I mean, honestly, the Switch 2 version of it is probably going to be the least like intense version of having your speech and video monitored. Like,
yeah,
that's about it.
If you've ever played any other system ever and used voice chat, you're being monitored in some way. you can be like that's in there. That's always been part of the things. It's just always has been. Nintendo's just never really had voice comms.
Yeah.
Now they're just like, oh shit, we have video and voice comms. We had to actually put this in there.
Was misinformation also part of this topic?
Yes.
Okay. I want to say that like I've been hearing for years, and this kind of ties into what we said earlier about there's all these other versions of games. You got to get the Call of Duty season pass. Video games have been $70-$80 for 10 years now.
Yeah.
If not more. You gotta have they're like, oh, you gotta have the Nintendo Online. You're already paying for PlayStation Online. You got the Xbox Online and the season passes. And Nintendo, if you're getting the online service with Nintendo, oftentimes the season pass equivalent is just given to you for free. And like it's everyone's just getting mad at Nintendo, but it's the same people like Nintendo's just baby gamers. You can go to the Nintendo eShop store right now, and the first thing you're gonna see in new releases is anime hentai games.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you're gonna see. It's gonna be it's gonna be crap hentai games too. It's just hundreds of them, hundreds and hundreds of hentai games and horror games, and like it's just like Nintendo is not the same company it was 20, 30 years ago. It is no longer the baby only console. It just so happens to have games that are really good for all ages. And a bunch of people are like, we're hating Nintendo because I like my Call of Duty. Well, guess what? Call of Duty's now going to be on the Switch 2, and it's going to run great. The new Street Fighter looks just as good on the Switch 2 as it does the Pro, even in motion. A lot of people like comparing screenshots. Let's look at it in movement. Like it looks just as good.
Also, the new freaking Pro controller is goddamn amazing.
Oh my god, I want one so bad. I wish they weren't like $89.
It has the bottom triggers, and controllers that have bottom triggers are significantly more expensive than the Switch 2 version. If you look at like PlayStation controllers that have the bottom triggers, they are like $500.
The $250 Xbox Elite controller with the modified buttons is now just default in the new Switch 2 Pro controller.
Pretty much, yes. That's what I'm saying. So like everyone complaining about being $100, I'm like, but it's literally the cheaper than the people doing it for the other consoles.
The cheapest
It's
option.
$170 cheaper than the equivalent on the Xbox.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh,
Even the Nintendo membership is the cheapest option.
Yeah,
Like,
and yet people were just like, oh, but like, if you do the special thing for Xbox and Sony's subscriptions, which costs extra, they let you play all these games that are recent on the console, and most of the time, that's not true. Like, usually it's like 3 years later they let you play one of their games that have been on their console, and it's just not selling anymore, and they're like, well, just put it up on the free list now. Like, so if you want to wait like 3 or 4 years and then be like, I play for a Sony subscription for $30 a month and I get to play this free game, that's great. Well, you could have bought it like originally and just played it when it came out for like $30 more, $40 more. So it's like, okay, if you want to wait that long and get it for free, that's your prerogative, but it doesn't make it better. Like, you get to play a bunch of retro games on the Switch too for paying the same price. So it's like, I mean, it's like, what are you interested in? Like, and you can't really convince people otherwise because they're just like, but they're newer, and it's like, and like, it's just like your prerogatives are different. So you play PlayStation games, and PlayStation games are different than Nintendo games. That's one thing about Nintendo that's different, is that their game library is just a unique experience. Half the shit that you can play for free on PlayStation, you can play for free on Xbox. So it's like, oh, who cares?
It is very interesting. We're back into this weird like Genesis versus Sega, and it's just not comparable anymore because like at least back then Genesis had a ton of exclusive games that Nintendo didn't. And when they had the same games, there would be differences about them. You could actually be like, well, my version of Zombies Ate My Neighbors is better than your version of Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That is interesting. So Lich Kirby says, personal take on a $70 to $80 price tag. Nintendo doing it means everyone else will, but nobody will stop charging more for the DLC. I kind of feel like that's also, I agree with that, but I still think that like games have been the $70, $80 price tag for a while now. It's just that they've been hiding it and they haven't been upfront about it, whereas Nintendo's not. They've never been one like, here's our secret price.
Nintendo's always brought out a full product.
Yeah. Nintendo has always released a full game. Like here's the game. Honestly, almost punishingly so, because there'd be games that would come out like, oh boy, I hope they do DLC maps for the new Mario Party. They never did. They never Superstars never got new maps, and I would have loved to have paid $15, $20 for just like 2 or 3 more maps.
It took us 10 years to get new Mario Kart maps.
10 years to get new Mario Kart 8 maps. Like, oh my god, like we try to give Nintendo more money and they're like, we're just gonna make a brand new game.
Please, Nintendo, I'll give you more money and please just put more maps in this game, please.
And then those new maps for free if you had them online.
We're only gonna sell me outfits, and fuck you.
They're only gonna sell me outfits. They only charge us DLC for like essentially Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Smash Bros and Amiibos were the
Nintendo's
DLC.
I said this for so many years, for being a Smash Bros like player for like so long. I said like Nintendo could literally print money if they just brought out costumes for characters. They just won't sell them. They just won't sell us costumes for characters. I'm like, why? You know how much money
just for the Mii fighters? Just give us the Mii fighters.
But they only do Mii fighters, and that's it. Like, that's the only ones that get new DLC costumes. I'm like, do you know how much I would pay for a Dry Bones Bowser skin?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Like, what? Or Metal Mario or anything
to be
like
nickel
that.
and dime here.
Give me more options for skins. I want them. Like, almost every other fighting game on the planet sells skins. Please.
Let me buy a Paula skin for Ness, because like all the abilities Ness has, like even like replace the bat with the frying pan, but give it the exact same hitbox. You know, like it's
like, you know how much money they can make just for that. Like we know it works because the Koopa Kids exist.
Yeah, it works.
They all have the same hitboxes, but like look different. It's perfect. Like even Roy is bigger, but he still has the same hitboxes.
Yeah.
Like who cares? It doesn't matter. We just want things to look
It's
different. Like,
fun.
let us spend
It's
money.
fun.
But even
And,
then,
like,
even then, when
crafted.
they're guaranteed to make money, they're just like, yeah.
It's
We're
like,
not gonna do
Smash
that.
will always be popular. It'll
Yeah.
always be popular, and Mario Kart will too. Like,
Yeah.
those are just two games that will go throughout generations. Like, even when I have kids, I will play Mario Kart with them, probably. Like,
Yeah.
There's not many games on any other console where I'm gonna be like, yes, let me show you this entire game company's catalog.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it, like Mario, like I want to show them every game. Like there's
Yeah.
not an official Nintendo release Mario game where I'm gonna be like, I do not want to share this game with my kid. Whereas like, what, Halo, Call of Duty? No, like that like maybe when they're like adults or teenagers, they'll be into those games, but I feel like they won't be because graphically they just do not hold up.
I'll only show my child the original Halo and nothing else.
Yeah, Halo 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
like, yeah,
Then nothing else happens after that.
Yeah, the shame they made no additional games after that. Well,
Yeah, it peaked after that. That was it. There's nothing else.
I know some people love 3 and Reach, and
Look,
then it just really went off the cliff. But
that's
I
because
never
they
could get into
sold
the
property to a
backpacks.
different thing. Like that's the problem. Like
Yeah.
Bungie was like, yeah, we're done with this franchise. Here's other company, take this. And then the
Yeah.
other company fumbled the shit out of it for the entirety of the rest of its
Ran it into the
existence.
ground. Ran it into the ground. You think I'm gonna show my kids Sonic the Hedgehog?
Oh my god. Well, hold on. Let's not anger Freud. I mean, he might be lurking.
I'm gonna show him Sonic Spinball, and that's it.
Yeah. I
We're
mean,
gonna
Sonic
watch-
Spinball was fun. Like, I've
I
never
love
played it, but I
Spinball.
watched
I'll
it, and
let
I
him-
even liked watching it.
I'll let him
like-
see the Sonic movies and nothing else.
The Sonic movies are
The
amazing.
Sonic movies are actually good. Yeah. The Sonic movies,
The Sonic
really
movies
good.
are amazing.
The last
The
Sonic,
Sonic
movie
games-
I loved. That's so good.
I have not played a Sonic game that stayed good after the first 2/3 of the game. Like once you get to
Yeah.
the last area of every Sonic game, it's trash.
Yeah.
It is always trash.
Return
But I
to
still love
Sonic
Sonic.
Advance.
It's like Bubsy. Sonic Advance was good. I like Sonic Advance 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only
the-
ever finished one Sonic game ever. One.
The best Sonic game to come out in the past 20 years was Mania, and it was made by
Yep.
fans.
It was a fan game, and it was amazing. And then Nintendo fired that entire, or not, Sega fired that
the
entire team.
Yeah.
The
and-
entire team was let go, and then they made a 3D game that was better than Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and the
Yeah.
Black Knight, and Boom, and Worlds. Oh my god!
Yeah. I mean, at least they got to make a game.
Pennies. It was called Pennies, like Weird Adventure. I don't remember what it was
Yeah.
called.
I've seen it. It looks really good.
Penny's Big Breakaway.
Yeah. That game actually looks really fun.
Yeah.
And it was only 15. Like I think it came out like $25, but it's only $15 now.
Sick.
So like it's literally half the cost of like a Sonic game, and is better than as most of the 3D Sonic games. Like once again, I love Sonic as a character.
I like Sony as a company, but they make really weird decisions for their games.
Yeah.
Like it's odd. Like cuz like Sony has some really interesting IPs. One of my favorite being like Phantasy Star Online. Like Phantasy Star is a really interesting franchise, lore-wise, and just like everything as an MMO and everything. But they constantly drop the ball with that series like all the time. It's like they do one banger and then the next one's ass, and then they do a good one and then the next one's awful. And it's like, please just do it, be consistent.
They made like a weird deck builder game at one point, which was really confusing. It was like Fantasy Star 3 or whatever.
Yeah, no one talks about episode 3. They just went Chain of Memories on our ass.
Yeah.
Good
Oh my
Lord.
god.
Let's turn this into a card game. That makes sense.
Yep.
One more topic for the controversy stuff. For like misinformation. This spread around like wildfire when the first direct happened. Was Mario Kart being $90. It has never been $90. It's not $90 anywhere. The only reason people think it was $90 is because the American stream crashed, and everybody who was a streamer went to watch the UK stream. And the UK stream has listed it as €90. And everybody then spread the information that the game was $90 physically, but it never was. And every physical copy in Europe, if you look it up, it's like cheaper than America. It's like 60 euros and 65 euros. No one has it listed as 90. The only reason it was listed as 90 and is described by Nintendo is because Europe has such a different economy and different every country there is different. They said it can be up to $90. It was never exactly $90. It was just because where you live, maybe your seller will, as a physical copy, will sell it for $90, but it was never actually listed as that.
That also kind of reminds me of something. You know, they are saying that these games are like never or like this is like, oh, I can't believe games are $80 right now. Chrono Trigger was like $85 everywhere.
Right?
Phantasy Star 4, $95 everywhere. Earthbound was an $80 game.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe these games have never been this cost before. I'm like,
it's funny
nah,
because
dude.
like the actual like standardization for game prices didn't happen until like the early 2000s. Where they started becoming like this like $59.99, and that became like a standardized thing for a while. But that wasn't a standardized thing before. Game companies just threw prices out there to see if it would stick.
Earthbound came with a whole guide and everything, so it's still pretty like I like Earthbound. Oh, masterpiece! But still, like this whole thing, like games were never this much. It was common for PC games, console games to be more than $60 back then.
And I'm gonna say this right now: not every game that has come out for all these years has been worth $59.99. There are tons of games that have been $59.99. They're some of the shortest games I've ever played in my life, or the like not even good quality games. And you kind of crapshooted it like before the internet. You were just like, I'm just gonna see if this game's good, and just bought it or rented it or something like that.
God, Lagoon for the Super Nintendo released at $76.99, and that game I love that game, but I would not call it a good game. Lagoon. A Paperboy 2 was $72.99.
I think people forget, like when I was growing up, I was poor. So like having a console at all was a miracle. Well, my parents like worked really hard to get me like consoles and stuff when I was a kid.
Final Fantasy Legend 2 for Game Boy, when most games were $27.99, was $50.
Man.
So like this whole like thing about like games just like it's like this has never been happened before. I'm like you're just uneducated on gaming history. Like, and I hate to be that blunt about it, but that's just the fact of the matter. I don't like that things are increasing in cost, but it's not new. And everyone acting like it's new and it's Nintendo's fault has just been ignoring every publication about video game companies for a long time. 2 years ago, the makers of the new Grand Theft Auto have been talking about how it's not going to be a $60 game. It's not going to be a $70 game. Like the new Grand Theft Auto might be $100 or more on launch. Because if you've seen it, like the graphics in that game can't run on any console that is currently out right now. It just can't. There's no way. I can't hear anybody if anyone's talking.
I can't either.
Oh, shoot, I hit my mute button because I was choking.
I just kept seeing your model going like.
I was saying,
like, what is he talking about right now?
Yeah, sorry, I was. Too many walnuts, good lord.
Hexen died live on stream.
Yeah.
First and last podcast. It was weekly for 1 week.
I hope you enjoyed, guys.
So, like, the actual cost for Grand Theft Auto is insane. Like the new Grand Theft
Auto, all the extra.
The new Grand Theft Auto costs more. Like from what they said, it was like $8 billion or some shit to make. Like an actual insane number. Like holy shit. They were saying
I think there was like a YouTuber recently who was making fun of that too. He's like, "Oh, Grand Theft Auto is gonna cost $100,000," and I'm like, "Yeah."
What is something like there's like they spent like a claim just for like the butt physics, like a couple $1 million, like just for the butt physics in the game.
Goodness.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6 has cost over $1 billion.
Gosh.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to say 8. I was coughing
No.
still.
Yeah, like $1 billion, and that's it. I mean, they're gonna make it all back. I'm not. I'm getting it. It's too rich for my
Grand
blood.
Theft Auto, yeah.
Yeah, over $1 billion to make is actually like the most insane like amount I've ever seen for not only a game, but like that's more than the Avengers Endgame cost to make.
In the trailer for the new Grand Theft Auto, the way that characters like interact, like they'll scoot past it, like they'll move to get out of the way that other people's, like it looks insane that I'm honestly like, I don't know if this is real. Like, I don't know if this is actually feasible. It's good. It's good.
Like they showcase like glass and the mirror reflections being real. And I was like, holy shit. Like glass and mirrors actually work like real glass and mirrors, which by the way is a gaming nightmare to code.
That's insanity. Because the easiest way to do it is to just have like another copy of the model there.
Yeah,
like they just have like a mirror of the model that's like
actually
like
reflecting the world behind them now.
And it's a coding insanity. As someone who has just seen Freud do 2D stuff, I could not imagine what goes into that.
Ray tracing is wild, yeah. Ray tracing made all that possible. It's like, wow. But yeah, like,
seriously, the butt physics alone is a marvel.
I saw the glasses, like the shades he was wearing, that were reflecting the real world. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Every bottle he was carrying, like I think a beer, and every beer had the liquid moving in it to different physics based on where it is in the canister. Every bottle of wine on the shelf had slightly different levels of wine in the bottles, and each level, like different labels on all these different bottles. The amount of detail into it, like that new Grand Theft Auto is either going to be the greatest game ever made, or it's going to be the biggest lie ever sold. And I just
time to become a Grand Theft Auto RP server person.
Oh, 100%.
Leaf Gang server, let's go.
Let's go.
All right, I think we're officially like out of that stuff. Let's talk about positive things.
Heck yeah.
The last set of talking points will be Switch 1 enhanced versions, games we are looking forward to on launch, games we are looking forward to after launch, and lastly, hopes and predictions for future games on the Switch 2.
I mean, on launch, I gotta say Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta play as that cow. I have to.
All right. So positive things. Let me just go ahead and say that I feel like the launch is kind of weak.
I'm not gonna disagree because I feel like DK should have come out with launch. The fact that it's like, oh yeah, like a month later, but I was like, why?
So here, let me list you all the actual brand new games coming out on launch. Mario Kart. Everything else is like HD remasters or ports, but that's the only new game coming out on launch. Besides, I guess like Deltarune Chapter 3, but it's not an exclusive. There's like a little extra thing, like a mouse dungeon in the Switch version, but like the only new thing we're really getting is Mario Kart.
Yeah, they did announce a bunch of games coming, but they didn't announce a lot of games actually launching the day of.
I mean, I did pre-order a bundle on Best Buy that does include Donkey Kong.
But we pick it up. We pick that up at a later date.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Really,
See,
it's not launch.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Damn, that sucks.
So like the new Donkey Kong game comes out a month later, which is fine, but it's also like, but why? Why didn't they just?
Why? Yeah. Why didn't you just?
Why not bring out the console 1 month later? Why not just do that?
Just include it with the system. Yeah.
I think they just didn't want to compete with Mario Kart. Like they didn't want to compete with themselves, but at the same time, that's still.
Yeah.
It still reads as kind of dumb to me.
Yeah.
It's a completely different genre.
There's a ton of like I always say there's a ton of third-party games coming out on launch. But
Yeah.
That's third
Like,
party.
more people are gonna play Mario Kart, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
because more people know or more people care about Mario Kart. Like,
Yeah. I'm obsessed with Super Mario Kart. I have stayed up late at night talking with Foxy and people in the Leaf Gang
Oh.
about how excited I am for Super Mario Kart.
I am so angry that I'm not getting the Switch 2 on launch right now. You don't even know. I'm like checking my email every goddamn day.
Well, you just got to go to the Nintendo site and try to pre-order
I got
it.
the same email, Trip God. Oh yeah, you're in line for
Yeah.
the Switch still too.
Just
I'm like,
keep
you
waiting.
son of
Yeah.
a bitch.
Also, another thing you should do, and this applies to everyone listening in, if you can go into all the sites that have the Switch 2, because every now and again the people's orders are falling through or they're getting canceled.
Yeah.
Because the world's on fire and no one can afford anything, and I only can get a Switch 2 because of the gracious Leaf Gang community. Thank you all so much.
Love
But
you,
And
love
I
you too.
pre-ordered both of them. You're welcome.
Yeah. Trip was the only one I was able to get through. But I really do. You just go on, maybe even right now, go on to like Walmart, go on like Best Buy, check those sites because a bunch of bundles have just last night went online with new bundles, and that's gonna randomly happen until it comes out because people are gonna cancel.
Yeah.
Nintendo's gonna ship additional stock to different companies.
And there's a
like,
good chance what I'm gonna have to do is just wait till it launches, buy everything on Amazon from a third party because Nintendo refuses to sell stuff on Amazon, which is fine, fair.
Yeah.
I just buy everything together because not only do I need a Switch 2, but I also need a new what's his name? Oh god, the capture card. I need a new capture card to run it to be able to see HD. Because the new Switch is 4K, so I had to have a 4K card. So I need to update for that.
I will say, Zacharias, I agree. He says I'm not worried. I have some games that are gonna be upgraded. I'm gonna check out. Exactly. That's like as much as I'm still saying I think it's a weak launch.
My God. Finally,
a functioning Pokemon. I like Kirby DLC. It's like bigger. It's bigger than the original game. I want to replay, for example, the games that are getting enhanced Switch versions. Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom had so much slowdown in it.
Yeah.
Functioning, how far the bar has descended. That's on Pokemon Company.
Yeah.
Pokemon Company has, and they're trying to rectify it. They're
Pokemon Company, and I think I agree with a lot of people with this. I think Pokemon Company got pressured into making 3D games from Nintendo, and Pokemon Company just doesn't have a team for it because they didn't get a new team.
They're not good.
They have the same team that they had that was making 2D stuff. The people who are making 2D stuff, they're the same team making the 3D stuff now, and it like completely changed their whole way of making games, and they don't know how to do it. You can tell because you can see like their backgrounds, their buildings, like they don't know what the hell they're doing.
It all looks bad.
Yeah.
It looks like PlayStation 2 games. I will say though, after the whole Scarlet Violet debacle, they did finally put out a listing to hire new graphic designers and production team. They are trying to fix it. I think they're trying to fix their reputation because they know that it's in the dirt.
Yeah, that's one of the things I joke about all the time. It's like you realize that like more Pokemon products sell than the actual games do. like that's hilarious to me. Is that the games are like more unpopular than just say a plushie.
A plushie. And I'm tempted to buy every like Pokemon plush I pass, and I don't care about the games at all anymore. Yeah. Sadly, like
I mean, that's because the games just haven't been good in so long.
I will say this though, as someone who spends all my time sitting down for work, I know I'm not alone in this. I know a lot, like especially with how common it is now for just like working at home and working like call centers and whatnot. A lot of jobs are just sitting down all day. So I love Civilization. I'm not getting the Steam version because I want the Switch 2 version. Yeah. I think that that being able to play it anywhere while I'm going, like I can go for a walk on treadmill and be playing Civ. And that mouse feature too, also being able to like be laying in bed and play, like have the controller on my lap as a mouse. Like that portability I think we're going to see a revolution of mouse gaming. Like this is going to bring mouse gaming to a forefront. We're about to see like a StarCraft revival. We're about to see like games like Diablo 2 and stuff like that ported to the Switch 2. All these games that will never be ported to Xbox or PlayStation are going to be brought to Switch 2. I think everyone is sleeping on the mouse controls on the Switch 2. And also that brings me to the games that like I'm excited for after launch, like hypothetical games. I think the next Mario Maker, which isn't getting an enhanced version as far as we can tell now. Like they're hiding Wonder and they're hiding Mario Maker 2, which was made by the same team. They're hiding it from us. I think the mouse for building levels is going to be next level.
Yeah. So
I think it's going to be happening. Metroid with mouse controls is going to be insane. Splatoon with mouse controls it's going to be so good. All these games that I would stay away from, I now want to play. I am now going to get like just because of the ability to play in a mouse mode and better online because everyone's going to be physically connected or using the better Wi-Fi. Everything that kills the Nintendo Online right now is going to be rectified in the Switch 2. And I'm super hype and I'm super hopeful for what's to come for this console. I think the Switch 2 is literally going to pretty much replace all other consoles, but for when it comes to gaming. And I think a lot of the AAA devs are going to be actually making. I think we're going to see a kind of return to like style versus graphical fidelity because they're going to want to sell their games on the Switch 2. And still, even though the Switch 2 is absolutely amazing and powerful, like enough for like PS4, equivalent of like a PS4 Plus is what the graphic ability on it is. I think companies are going to be like, we're going to make games that run better on the Switch 2 and then have those versions of the games release on the other consoles. I think Switch 2 is about to be prioritized and we're going to see a return to good games versus the most graphically intense games. I think everyone died.
Waiting for Trip to say something. She was trying to say something a second ago.
Oh, I literally don't remember what I was trying to say now. So
Do you have anything any games and stuff you're interested in looking forward to with enhanced versions?
Oh yeah, I mean, probably my biggest thing, Dan mentioned it earlier, was Kirby.
Yeah.
Like Kirby and the Forgotten Land, I loved that game so much. I even started doing like the post game content, whatever that was. So having even more to play on that, I'm really looking forward to that like a lot. I'm glad they're giving Kirby attention to say the
I want
least.
that camera just for Jamboree TV.
Yeah.
The Mario Party Jamboree TV.
I'm literally getting that now just because Dan said that because I'm going to point it right at my model on my screen because that was such a good idea.
It's going to be good. It's going to be
so
so good. And that also, like for hypothetical games, a new WarioWare using the camera, like WarioWare moves, and like if we become the spaceship, we have to do like this and fly through. Like a new WarioWare. It's gonna be the best WarioWare ever made. If just using the camera like they're using in Jamboree TV, like there's no way they don't make a new WarioWare like that.
They have to. I would totally play that.
100%.
Like WarioWare is just. Yes.
I was someone who really enjoyed Breath of the Wild but couldn't get into it, but it running faster and better load time and looking better, so constant 60 frames per second. Now I want to play Breath of the Wild. Now I want to play Tears of the Kingdom.
That actually does make me want to play Tears. I actually stopped playing Tears because I could only play it on handheld for a long time, and like it was so bad. It made me feel like I was playing like the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild again, and I was like, no, I can't do this again.
I got to go into the cursed memes real quick in the Discord because Lich said this justifies the cost.
Oh boy.
Continue. Oh yeah, justified. Cost justified.
What happened?
$80, totally reasonable.
Oh man.
Peach got that trip booty. Hey, Trip, she even has your hair flips now.
I'm trying to find the channel. I'm getting lost.
Not safe for work and cursed memes.
Close at the bottom.
Yeah, it's close to the bottom.
The only time I'm usually able to find it is if someone tags me in like a tattoo meme or some shit.
It's above self promotion and Leaf Gang.
One thing about the Switch to enhanced stuff, I will say, I think it's very suspicious that hold on a second. Coding error. Okay. All right. 1 second. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, and the cursed images. Gotcha. Oh my god.
I see. Okay, that's fine.
Goodness.
Completely reasonable.
Yeah. So one of the
I'd pay-
things like I have a theory about for like enhanced Switch stuff, and I think I made a good point about this when we first saw it in the enhanced stuff, is that there are like 3 games very suspiciously missing from the enhanced versions, and as there is no enhanced version of like these 3 popular games should have had advanced versions, but they didn't add them, and I think that the reasoning for that is that they're just gonna get new versions pretty soon, or at least announcement of new versions soon, and that is Mario Maker didn't get an enhanced version. Smash Brothers didn't get an enhanced version, which I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like that not getting an enhanced version, that is like a dead giveaway to me that there's a new Smash.
That's a confession.
That,
in my idea, that's a confession.
That is just a,
and Wonder.
And
Wonder, Maker,
and Wonder didn't get
and
one
Smash.
Either. And Wonder not getting one makes me go like, okay, they're probably gonna make Mario 2 or Mario 3 with Wonder stuff.
Yeah, Mario Maker 3 with Wonder, or Mario Maker 2 Deluxe with Wonder. And I'm kind of wondering if we're gonna get like Smash Ultimate Deluxe, as well. Like I 100%. It's kind of like goes back to the whole like the whole like at when Smash Ultimate's production was made. Hold on a second. I want to make sure I get this information correct. Okay, so Sakurai, when Ultimate was done being made for, Sakurai's like, I'm starting this YouTube channel and we're going to upload videos. And he did it for like 2 years. And then after that 2-year period was up, he said, all right, secretly, I've actually recorded this right at the end of Smash Ultimate being done. I've been working on a game the whole time, and that's Kirby Air Riders, which is another game I'm super hype about. But I also think that Air Riders was a exchange, in my opinion. I think Sakurai was like, hey, I really want to make these games. And he's probably like, he threw out probably Kid Icarus and he threw out Air Rider, Kirby Air Riders. Like wanted to make those are like 2 games that he loved that he felt didn't get enough love when they like came out. And I think Nintendo was like, well, all right, new Smash, and you can do Air Riders and maybe even Kid Icarus, because this whole time Sakurai was like, all right, well, I'm done making games. I'm gonna make this YouTube series. But that YouTube series was also all recorded right at the end of Smash. So that's like all these years. He never stopped working on games. It was all gaslighting. He gaslit us so we wouldn't know about the Switch 2 Air Riders and Switch 2 Smash and Switch 2 Kid Icarus. That's my theory.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Air Riders though. Like I did not play the original Air Riders. So
Kirby's Air Ride is a masterpiece for the GameCube. That its only flaw was it didn't have online play.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
now, doesn't it? Or it will now?
Yeah, it will now. It was kind of, in my opinion, the first Kirby's Air Ride was kind of like the first like arena battle royale.
Yes, it was the first.
It was the first Fortnite.
Yeah.
You had this area that closes up, but you go through the map and find power ups and speed ups and vehicles, and then you battle it out with weapons. So like it really. It was so much more than anyone ever gave it credit for. Yes, it was a racing game too that was like super duper simple, perhaps too simple.
Yeah.
But it was the go into 4-player mode, battling each other, racing for power ups, and then fighting in a battle royale. Like that being a 99 game or like a 32-player match would be one of the coolest things ever.
Oh yeah, I think if they made that 99, that shit would be amazing. Holy.
I would be
Kirby brought up a really good point just now. Imagine if they, like, now that we have like the mouse controls, they could do 3DS remakes now.
Oh my god, yeah.
please.
Oh my god, 3DS remakes like replacing the touchscreen with mouse controls.
where you could just touch it with the mouse.
Oh,
That replaces the stylus and
man.
everything. Like you could just do all the stylus stuff again.
suddenly all the Zelda DS games make sense. Suddenly even like Wind Waker with the mouse controls might
Yeah.
be cool. Give a Skyward Sword the mouse. You just like move the mouse to swipe like that. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
That would be so sick.
Skyward Sword, like with the actual sword controls again, would be sick. I
Yep.
like that game. That game was fun. That game didn't get enough credit for how unique it was.
Its soundtrack was amazing, and I like the story it told.
Yeah.
I definitely hope there's more DS games. Like
Yeah.
they have not given the DS like any
Enough
love at all.
DS had some of the best games they ever
That's
made.
gotta be true. Yeah, DS was awesome.
Like I want to see like Bowser's Inside Story again. I
Yeah.
want to see Super Princess Peach. I want to
Yeah.
see like there's so many things I want to see. Like,
We're never getting Super Princess Peach again.
No,
that,
we-
that
never,
game is
no, never. I would love to see it,
How-
but I
how
know
does
they're
it
never-
was a fun
How
game.
does woman
but,
beat game
oh my,
with emotions?
how does woman beat game? She cries at enemies until they die. She gets her period and gets angry and
Oh,
stomps her
God.
way through walls and just like it's just like oh
Goodness.
Nintendo.
That
I feel like
game was
that-
hilarious
that-
just because it was like, how does Peach defeat things? She just has mood swings.
She just has mood swings.
Yeah, we're never gonna see it. I know we're not, but I would
That new Princess Peach game was just to eradicate the existence of that previous Peach game. We're gonna have her. She's just gonna like wear costumes and change rather than I'm mad. I'm gonna stomp my way through the ground.
I'm gonna
I need to
cry.
talk to your manager.
I need to activate Karen mode.
Oh my god! That's probably one. I think the only time they dropped the ball harder was the blackface character in Mario Golf 64.
Oh god!
It was so
I forgot
bad.
about that. Holy!
It was so bad.
I forgot they did that. Man, Nintendo was a very different company.
Nintendo was a very different country. No, that's 10 years from now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you got Google Potato. It's kind of like I've been replaying Mother 3, and there's this character named Reggie, and it's like just a black dude with giant big lips. It's kind of like, ooh, all right, well, there's, this is never coming to America.
Well, it's like how when they redid like Dragon Ball Z, they turned Mr. Purpo like blue.
yeah, they changed him to like weird and blue.
He's blue. He's not a black guy. We promise. So to ignore all his facial features.
Yeah, Japan just had a different time. They didn't they didn't have.
I think the artistry in Japan like went through a cycle where they were trying to really emphasize like features of different people to make them not look Asian. Like, because that way they just like perpetuate that this is what our characters look like that are identify as us, and then this is what like these characters look like when they're identifying you. And they were just trying to. They wasn't like meant to be like mean. It was just meant to be like these are the differences, and these are from this thing. I always thought it was funny because the way they depict Americans in like anime almost all the time is that they're just loud and have guns and just shout and curse a lot.
yeah, the big hats,
big hats.
Big hats, guns,
or they just have
launchers.
like America flag somewhere on their body, like
they
somewhere on their body.
But if they're in a fighting game, they always have like a big American flag shirt, and except for Ken, like from Street Fighter, like it's always like they have like
that's because Ken adopted the ways of Japan.
Ken adopted, but he still had his yacht parties. He had his American yacht parties.
But like when you look at Guile, he just had like big American flag tattoos on his giant biceps with his huge hair.
Yep. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures entered the chat. Oh my god.
Gee.
It's kind of funny how like I feel like everything I want is just like when I think about games that I want, I'm always like, hey, what's this Nintendo game that released once,
Yeah.
and I won again. And then like, is anyone excited about that Roly? They say they don't want anyone to say wheelchairs, but
That
is
is
anyone
actually-
excited about the wheelchair
That
game?
actually might be true, Dirk Quick. On his original stage, they might actually have American flags on Ken's stage.
On the ship? Oh man, Dirk.
That actually, I
Everyone
think
I've
that
s-
might be true.
I feel like that game with the vehicles that are definitely not wheelchairs was probably fun for like the first couple hours, but then I'm never gonna play it again if I
See,
were to
that's one
have
of the
it.
launch games where I'm just like, I understand why they thought this would be good.
Special Olympics
mean,
based
it's-
basketball, yeah.
Because like, not only does it showcase,
yeah.
but I feel like it should have been just like the trailer game that they did. It should have been free.
I think that should have been, yeah. If anything, it should only be like a $20 game.
Yeah, it should have just been like a free game that came with the system, and then people would have played it, and then like would have liked it or not liked it, and then like,
Yeah.
but at least it showcases like all the different things that you could do with the mouse controls. I think the same thing for like the tutorial game. I think that should just be free. I think that both
Should
of those
just be free.
Oh yeah. I mean,
both of
it's
those
just
should
gonna
just
be
come with the
another-
console. But you know, I
It's
can't
like
tell
game.
Nintendo what to do.
Trip forced me to get Puyo Tetris 2 for the Switch 2 on launch.
Oh,
I
okay.
pre-ordered it. Yep, I did.
That actually does look really good.
It's gonna be good. I love Puyo. I love Tetris. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I was like, even if I have like no freaking time to play that game, because God forbid,
like-
someone's got to play it.
Yeah. Well, talk about other like really good launches that are like games that are coming out that we know are coming out. The new Donkey Kong looks fucking
Donkey Kong.
amazing.
It looks
It-
cool.
It looks masterful. It looks so good.
Everything I've seen
I'm
about that
honestly-
game.
Bravely Default, I'm excited it's getting a comeback.
Yeah.
Metroid
Metroid.
Prime 4. Oh,
So the thing is, like, I know
as-
people are just like, oh, but what if it's just like a lot like a Mario Odyssey? And I'm like, and Mario Odyssey is like one of the best Mario games ever made.
Oh no,
It's an-
Mario
it's an-
Odyssey.
it's an enhanced, more action-packed version of Odyssey. Oh no, not one of the greatest games ever
I
made.
know.
God
Improved.
forbid.
Oh, this sounds terrible. The music looks great. I love the graphical style. And I know people were hating on DK. I was one of them for Kart, but that screenshot released of the new DK in Kart was a very bad frozen frame. This is
Oh,
the
shit.
best DK has
Hey,
ever looked.
Where did Trip go?
Yeah, my camera
Okay.
does that.
Okay. Trip died.
Trip randomly dies. It's fine.
The fact that like the
It's cool.
entire environment in Donkey Kong is destructible is amazing. I think that is like one of the coolest things I've seen in a game in a long time, especially
Yeah.
for a game that
Oh,
is as
yeah.
high quality like graphically as like DK. Like
It's
being
kind
able
of
to, like,
crazy.
rip through the world like he does is really cool.
And it's a cool gimmick. Like that's a cool, fun gimmick. Looking for secrets, like, and it kind of ties into the country. Like you drop from a high height, or like you
Yeah.
break the ground in like a letter. It
It
kind of
kinda-
is a tribute to that, in my opinion.
For my opinion, I actually think that what they're doing for the new DK is they're kind of giving him some attributes of Wario's 3D games.
Yeah. God,
Kinda, yeah.
Wario 3D World is a masterpiece that could come to the Switch Online because of the GameCube games going out. Like we could see a new love for Wario World.
I kind of hope with the GameCube stuff, like, I hope they finally port Luigi's Mansion, because
yeah.
like, we had like they re-released 2 as a remaster. They made it 3, and there's still no 1.
Yeah, I
For
know,
some
right?
reason. It's
Yeah.
so strange, yeah.
And most
Like-
people can't play one. It's 20 years ago, 25 years ago that
Yeah.
came out.
Like,
Like that's not easily
I-
accessed.
I would love if they would remaster 1.
Yeah.
Like use like new graphics for 1. I would love that. But
I
who knows?
it's odd to say. I think 1 is still the funnest Luigi's Mansion. As
It's-
amazing
I
as
loved
2
it.
and 3, 1 is just this like 4 or 5 hour. Like so, this is something I didn't respond to earlier about like paying like $60-$70 for like a 3 or 4 hour game.
Yeah.
If the game is a really good 3 or 4 hour game, I'm fine spending $60
Yeah, I
on it.
don't
And Luigi's
think time is the problem. I think quality is generally the problem. And you
spending $60 for a 20-hour game that sucks.
yeah, padded
And
games,
it hurts even more.
Padded games are like one of the worst things ever. Oh yeah, this game is like 10,000 hours, but it's mostly just collecting flags. Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed.
I mean, Lich Kirby.
Every
you never
Ubisoft
know.
game.
You never know, Lich Kirby. Like they released the 3D All Stars with Mario 64, and then decided to turn around and release Mario 64 on the online stuff. So
Yeah.
you never know. You never know. But
I think
They were
I
different
think we'll
versions.
see it.
I think, but I do think that we're gonna get the. I think Lich Kirby said that I think that there was no remaster because of the GameCube Online coming, and I fully agree with that. I
That's
think that's why
fine.
we didn't get the Wind Waker HD version, but they did say that just because we're getting that slightly enhanced GameCube version of Wind Waker, that we weren't gonna get the true remake of it also released. I think we're finally gonna see the Twilight Princess Wind Waker collection come out,
That'd be nice.
and but it's like they're gonna have the original versions. I think they're gonna kind of start double dipping a bit in their preservation.
I will actually say that Twilight Princess is probably one of the best looking Zelda games that's ever been made.
Even still, that's I agree with that. I feel like they took the stylization of Link in all of its world out after Twilight Princess and Wind Waker.
Yeah. They kind of started just like going with the combination of cartoony and realistic, kind of like a weird combination fusion of the two games of like Wind Waker and Twilight. I feel like that's what they went for after that.
And it does look kind of cool, but like at the same time, I feel like they never really nailed it either. Like I'd rather I'd rather either the games look more like Twilight Princess or look more like Wind Waker and not this hybrid that they're going for.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I understand, but at the same time, I did prefer when it was like either ultra stylized or just ultra cartoony.
Yep. I would love a new Rayman game. The last thing Rayman was in this weird French show where he does cocaine and eats sushi off of cow prostitutes.
Bro, that show was so weird.
that's the last thing cocaine Rayman was in was a cocaine fuel bender.
That series was on a cocaine bender when they wrote it.
Oh, that Bobby Pills, all the shows they make are absolutely insane.
I don't know how Ubisoft even agreed to let them write their characters like that. I was like,
no
what
idea.
The fuck?
Well, you want to know how Ubisoft agreed is because they turned that game into an NFT game that like no one cared. It was a complete. That whole show was turned into an NFT by Ubisoft.
Jesus. Remember when like Square Enix was like, NFTs are the future. All of our games will have NFTs.
They sold off like Tomb Raider and they sold off like $1 billion IPs,
and then they lost
NFTs.
all their money from it.
Now they're like barely together. Oh, let me say this. That's something I'm excited about. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I didn't have a PlayStation, so I didn't get it, and then I wasn't gonna buy it being broke.
Yeah.
A year later on Steam, because oftentimes when I'm playing games, it's either I'm in bed or I am streaming them, and there's no reason to. But getting the entire trilogy on one console is way more appealing to because if you're buying it on a PlayStation 4, you're gonna need to get it on the PS5 to get part 2 and part 3, and part 3 might even be a pro only. It might not even just work on the PS5, and all 3 are gonna work on Switch too. They said that they came out and said that all 3 of the Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be on the Switch too. So suddenly I'm like, you know what? I might need to buy them now. I might play through them. So there's a lot of games I didn't care about having or playing through that I'm now excited to because the Switch 2 is powerful enough to do it.
Yeah, one thing I've always liked about Switch and the Switch 2 is that I don't have time to play RPGs at home because I just do other things, or I'm streaming, or I'm working on other stuff on my computer, and RPGs take a long time. I love them, but they're time sinks. And one thing I like about Switch and the Switch 2 is that having Final Fantasy be mobile and be able to play it on my lunch breaks or play it when I'm out doing whatever, and whatever, it makes it so much more appealing for me to buy them by having them on hand. My God,
just taking it with you and it being a high quality version of it, and it's just I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
Do you think what's some hypothetical games that you think we might be getting? Like I feel like all these GameCube games being ported, it might even be a way for Nintendo to gauge like what game series to come back to. I think they kind of did that a little bit with N64 because we got the Paper Mario 64 brought to the Virtual Console before we got like the Thousand Door, and like we're now all of a sudden we saw a whole bunch like the Mario RPG, being brought like the remake for that. I feel like Nintendo is kind of finally for the first time in a long time looking at remaking and bringing back these old successful games. And like what's something that you hope they bring back? The one I'm throwing out there is, I'm doing a twofer. I want Star Fox and I want Pilot Wings to come back.
Yeah, I want F-Zero GX.
Oh my god, new F-Zero would be god tier.
A new F-Zero GX would be so good.
Trip, what's a game you want to come back?
Yeah, I think I already mentioned mine. Like, I want to be able to actually play Luigi's Mansion on the Switch. Like, that's probably my top choice,
I would love to see a new Luigi's Mansion. Like I would be pretty
new Luigi's Mansion. I want a new Wario Land so bad.
There's definitely rumors about a Luigi's Mansion 4. Like, people have been kind of speculating about it for probably a good year now or so. So
Luigi's Mansion 4 is definitely happening. I think we're gonna get a Pikmin 5.
I feel like F-Zero is definitely possible just because of how well 99 did.
All of a sudden F-Zero is possible, but I also kind of worry that if the new Mario Kart might kill that, or maybe F-Zero now that Mario Kart's open world.
I don't think so.
I think now that Mario Kart is open world, we can have F-Zero be the track-based online, the more standard racing game, and it being super crazy fast. Like now, I feel like F-Zero
it doesn't
makes
have like
sense.
the wackiness that Mario Kart has with the items and stuff. It is just pure speed and turning and precision. That is what F-Zero
I feel like
was.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, especially with it having the F-Zero tracks into it and it being like the flying and the going, like that definitely, I felt like there was no reason with 8 Deluxe with how it essentially played like an F-Zero game in many ways. But now that it's this open world and kind of like you're doing Tony Hawk tricks, you're grinding or wall riding, now we have a reason to return to F-Zero 3D, I feel. Star Fox. Honestly, I don't care if Nintendo just makes Star Fox 1 over and over and over again, as long as it's good.
I think
Star Fox 64 is one of the best games ever made.
I think that they might do another Star Fox if Metroid 4 does good, and I'm only gonna say that for the realm that Nintendo doesn't really like sci-fi that much. Like, a lot of their game franchises are not sci-fi based. They're like fantasy, like obtuse games. Like they really just avoid sci-fi a lot, especially in like from like beyond their original content where they had like Metroid and all that.
My favorite game series that is post-apocalypse is Kirby.
Metroid. Yeah. Metroid. I mean, Nintendo has Metroid, but they haven't made like a 3D Metroid in like 20 years.
Yeah, like Metroid, and that like compared to all the other games Nintendo has franchises for, it's essentially just Metroid. And like
their sci-fi catalog is actually really small. Like if you look at it, like
in every game that is sci-fi, like F-Zero,
F-Zero, Metroid, Star Fox, most of those got put on the back burner for like years and years and years.
Yeah.
There is a port of an old Metroid game. They brought like the old Prime games, like just one, right? They did the Switch, but that was like the first like new game in a very long. They've ported some Metroid games, but they haven't made a new Metroid game in a very long time. They did Dread, but that's also a 2D game.
Yeah, but they've been doing 2D versions of those games forever, but they still haven't done the other games for like ever again. Like, and the thing is, I think that the 2D is like a completely different thing for them because the 2D Metroid games have just kind of just progressively been a thing that they've made forever, and they just
Potatoes
kept bringing them out.
Yeah, Potato says a very valid thing. Welcome to being a sci-fi fan. It doesn't sell, and yes, every game up to Dread, all of Metroid, including all the side games and everything combined, did not equal the sales of Animal Crossing on Switch.
True.
Like every game combined, it's
fantasy is
I
a
think
much better like genre when it comes to making sales. It's kind of improving like over and over again. That are like modern historical like remake things, like things that are about like now or like the past. Like people like those type of games. The future stuff is weird because sometimes it can be good because of the way they do it. Like I think Halo was a good example of like postmodern sci-fi doing really well, or what is it called? Oh lord, the game Bungie made after Halo that was also like sci-fi futuristic that did well.
Destiny
that did really well. But most of the time, it just depends on how you write it. Like right now, like for me, looking at Metroid Prime 4, it looks a lot like Halo 2, and it has me excited.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love Metroid Prime is amazing. I got here's what I want to see Nintendo do. I want to see Nintendo make a steampunk genre game. I want to see what Nintendo does with the world of steampunk, and I also want Nintendo to make like a tycoon like game, like a roller coaster tycoon like game in the world of the Mushroom Kingdom. Like give us Super Nintendo, like the Universal Nintendo world. Let us make our own Nintendo theme park. Is it like Waluigi's theme park or whatever, and or Wario, or even use a Wario. Like whatever, use your whatever. I just want a Nintendo theme park game.
Yeah, I actually do want to see them also like try to make like new IPs.
Yep.
Like, with different like new characters, because that's something Nintendo hasn't done for quite a while. Is like try to risk something new besides like Splatoon. I think is like the newest thing they've really done.
The new special wheelchair game there.
But that's not really a branded game. That's just like a hey, generic characters are doing baseball.
That's the thing that really sucks about it is like at least ARMS, as much as I didn't enjoy playing it,
the
was characters were cool.
Great. Yeah, they really try to.
It was artistically cool, and then we got a bunch of robots in wheelchairs.
Like ARMS, we got characters. Like ARMS were like the characters were so popular. We got a character in Smash. We're not getting a wheelchair character in Smash. We're not getting one of those. We're not getting one of those characters because they're just
and
not.
That's the thing that. They gave it no style. It looks bland. Like that, like I would like I play style is such a huger significance than I like want to ever admit. But something being cool and looking cool and having characters I like and music I like is going to be about 70% of my enjoying of a game. And if it also plays good, then I love it. There's so many NES games that are just like terrible games, but because of their style or their music, I always go back and replay them.
Yeah. We have ads in a minute. I forgot to do ads last time. We just talked through them because I didn't even look at it. So,
I guess they just need to subscribe. I guess.
Yeah, I know, right?
Dang.
We'll do a quick ad break and then like kind of finish off for this like topic and everything.
Right,
we have a couple things left to talk about for sure. So quick ad break, and we'll continue. Let's run them now.
Yeah, well, you get to hear the sub only chat. Yeah. Why did I get a follow from that? And someone even wait, what is Foxy like? Take it. It's like hearing things in my OBS I have open. No, I had my OBS up and like some things just got redeemed in my stream vault, even though I'm not live. Who gave me 50 bits? Hold on a second. I'm not even live and I got more bits than Hexen did today.
I know, right? That's only because I have all of my alerts and everything off. No one can spam anything.
Yeah. Yeah. God, XCOM. So it was a steampunk game. Was it made by Nintendo or was it a game that was So I don't know if that was first party. I remember that game.
There's so many games I haven't played. Like it's gonna be nice to get to play them on the Switch too. Like, I didn't grow up with like the older consoles at all.
Mayday EXE should stay from clocks they don't know. Stephen Lee decided to throw a bomb and melt through the floor. Streaming Falcon really shouldn't have touched that wall. Funky Shun rode an owl and exploded. It seemed like a good idea at the time. True Muffin was money hungry.
Hungry
For death.
for death.
Timbo kissed a chain chomped as soon as they spawned. So many
Sorry, Wolf, I don't have any alerts on, so thanks for the 50 ping.
so many ways to die when you're playing. When you're playing Iron Mario. So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die when you're playing. When you're playing Iron Mario. A bomb, a thwomp, and an amp made sure to ruin Mr. Mighty Mouse's day. Poison Pumps was on their way.
Otto
to
just made a
victory,
post
but
feeling
a
good this
piranha plant was
Saturday. Isn't it
standing
Sunday?
in their way.
It is Sunday.
He had a good
Yeah,
Saturday.
if it was
That's pretty
Saturday, I'd be
good.
at the shop. I'd be at the shop right now. if it was
Making
Saturday.
myths
Well, you said
jealous.
feeling good this Saturday. You just posted this
Tell him to stop being drunk.
To have a lava date.
on Twitter.
Twitter.
When the day is done, every player
I will
is
not
the
call
one
it
that is
X.
playing.
I refuse.
It's time for everyone in chat to say so many dumb ways to
Opto has a
die.
time machine, I guess.
So many dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die when you're playing. When you're playing Iron Mario.
Just commented Saturday with a question mark.
All right, ads are over, and now we can continue our discussion.
Hooray!
For the topic of just like
Mhm.
I don't know, games and just stuff. There's so many things that I really want for like a new console. Obviously, new Smash Brothers. Obviously, a new Mario Maker. Like those are two games I play the crap out of when they come out. I'm sure they're gonna come out. Like I'm almost positive. And I do agree
New
with
Animal Crossing.
yeah,
please.
that's definitely coming.
Yeah.
Like they made so much money with the last Animal Crossing. Like they probably have like double the team on that now.
Totally.
Oh God, yeah.
We must make more
People
creatures.
people need a new Animal Crossing right now. Like,
Yeah.
Animal Crossing is my favorite game about kidnapping kids and forcing them into slave labor.
Man, I can't wait till can't wait till that mole in there starts charging extra because he's bringing in goods from another country.
Oh God, yeah.
These bells cost extra
yeah.
today.
These bells cost extra. I will say,
Yeah.
I hope the stock market isn't as manipulatable in the new game as it was on the Switch, because it did kind
Yeah.
of break one major aspect of playing Animal Crossing, and that was like the working and doing tasks for
I heard
money
you
and
could abuse
whatnot.
the crap out of that game.
And like literally, Cinco was like giving everyone millions of bells by like the second day of playing the game,
Lord.
and it just like no one had to worry. All of our debts were paid off immediately, and if like anyone wanted to do it, like it was just too exploitable. I kind of feel like
yeah.
if you're gonna be risking the
uh,
stock market like that, it should probably not be able to go to other options, like other islands and whatnot. That was to encourage multiplayer play, but I really do feel like that was a negative, net negative.
Yeah, like I still remember the turnip trades and stuff. Like people would make websites being like, here's how many turnips I have, here's how many bells they'll cost, blah blah blah. And here's my island code so that you can buy my island. And you would literally have to like wake up and get in line to visit their island. Like I remember
Yep.
doing this on vacation
Yeah.
once, and I was like, all right, here's like 50,000 bells, and they would just give me like a crap ton of turnips, and
Yeah.
then I would
Yep.
sell them. And same with Tarantula Island. Like you would try to visit Tarantula Island, capture a bunch of tarantulas, and then sell them to that chameleon
I'm
dude.
sorry.
Like
Yeah.
Now I
There were
definitely
so
don't
many
want to play that
ways to
game. You
make
just said there's an
money.
island called Tarantula Island. I never want to play that game ever.
Here's the thing with Tarantula Island is that you had to work for that exploit a little bit more than the what is it,
Yeah,
the turnip stock exchange
yeah.
website. Yeah.
You had to keep visiting island after island after island until you finally hit Tarantula Island. Then you could only hit Tarantula Island at night, so you had to go when it was dark outside. And goodness,
Oh,
doing
I
night
agree
streams
is the
of that were
case.
the best.
So one of the things I think is actually kind of crazy and people don't talk about enough about like the Switch enhanced versions and just like having enhanced versions of games in an interval, and people are kind of complaining about it because like when we get a bunch of free ones that no one talks about, Mario Odyssey and a bunch of other shit that just got free versions upgraded like for no reason, they just did it.
Yeah.
Like they could have charged you like the other games, but they just charged you for some of the games. Like, and I think that's fine. But like the thing is like other people are complaining about them charging you for the upgrades as well. But I don't understand why, because it's like every other
You
company
had to
will make you
It's done
pay
that
the
too.
full price for a new game for like an
So
upgraded graphics version. Like how many times have we gotten the like Walking Dead like remake
Yeah, Walking
with
Dead,
slightly
Last of Us,
The Last
Deluxe.
of Us, like several versions of this on different consoles that are only graphical upgrades and that's it, and they've made you pay full price each time. This time they're like, oh yeah, $10 if you already own the game, $10 upgrade to HD 4K. Like what? That's insanely cheap, especially for Nintendo.
There were a few games. I would say the Final Fantasy on the PS4, it was it $10 or $20 to upgrade to the PS5 version, something Skyrim.
Yeah.
But even still, they're acting like Nintendo was the first to do this.
Yeah.
For them to charge for new content, and yet I don't see them complaining about all the DLC that's been all these other games, things that Nintendo doesn't normally do. All this is still like not new. This
Yeah.
is not new. Like you could be mad about. Honestly, I'm surprised when no company owes us free anything.
The fact that they even did any
Nothing-
free games like to 4K for free is actually amazing.
They didn't have to do anything.
They could just charge you
And
for all of
often-
them.
They can charge you for all of it. Like, say for example, like I've seen people also be like you pay for the PlayStation monthly and you get like 3 free games for your PlayStation as long as you download them while you get like they're on the marketplace or whatever for free. But oftentimes those games are like they're with the same time they're on the PlayStation Online, they're like $2 on sale everywhere else. Like you can get these games for free, or you can spend like $3 for them.
Yeah.
Or they're games that like they're free because like they're no one bought it. So here you go. Here's this free game that no one cared about. You know, or they'll give you like a free like retro game they just added to the market. But I mean, like they're never like enhanced. They're never like extra things. Like with Nintendo Online, you'll be getting a lot of enhanced versions of the original games that you loved.
Yeah. I know that some people have made like arguments that like, oh, but now if you have to buy, if you've never played these games before and you buy them on Switch 2, they're more expensive. And I'm like, well, yeah, because it's technically a new game. You've never played it or purchased this before, so yes, you're gonna play the increased cost from the upgrade version and then the version itself. So it costs $70 or $60, whatever it was before, plus the upgrade cost. Like that's fine. It makes sense to me. Like, but people are upset about that. Like, I think one of the worst arguments. I think this one actually is a valid argument, and I agree that Breath of the Wild doesn't come with its DLC in the Switch 2 version. And you had to pay for those separately. That is the only one of these arguments that I've seen.
Or does it even like? I know you. I don't even think it's like you have to pay for it separately. It's just not. It's not going to be released yet.
Yeah, something like that.
It's just
it's like not.
Yeah, so like
yeah.
it's not out, but I think it is going to be added. I just don't know if it's going to cost anything or if it's going to be free. And I'm kind of wondering if it's going to just be a free added thing. It's just the DLC's not in it yet. And isn't all the Breath of the Wild DLC just like texture stuff, skin stuff?
No, it's like they have like a whole story for this.
Oh, so they do have a DLC story. As someone who hasn't played through Breath of the Wild,
they have Master Mode, which is basically this Dread version of that game where everything almost kills you in one hit. And then they also had like a Master Quest, which added like a whole like side story, which was really good, like honestly. But like most people have played Breath of the Wild already, and if you're just getting into
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild now and Tears of the Kingdom, and you're buying them for the Switch too, like, cool. Like, it's like an extra $10.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Oh no, $10.
$10 for
better
one
graphics.
$10 for like one of the best Zelda games ever made in 4K, like, and running really well. I played I bought this game twice already. I bought it on the Wii and the Switch, and they did not let you
Yeah, the
go,
Wii
oh, you
and
had the
Switch.
Wii version? Let's just upgrade you to the freaking Switch version. No, they sold you the damn Switch version again. So I played the Wii version and I played the Switch version. I bought both of them, and this time they're just like, hey, $10, you could just upgrade from the other one. I'm like, oh my god, yes, I don't have to buy it again.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank God, because normally that's what Nintendo and other companies do. Hey, just buy the new version that's better graphics and runs better for like $60-$70. Here you go.
You can't go and buy the like just the fact that you could buy something and it carries over is really not common.
Yeah.
And the fact that not only is it just $10 more, that is
it's not
it really drives me crazy how like I feel almost rude saying this, but how entitled people are about products that are for sale.
Like, I get it. Gaming is an expensive hobby, but I've seen people collect model trains. And I can guarantee you model trains cost about as much as a house.
They're not cheap.
Model trains, when I was a kid, you can buy a decent train for like $10. Now it's like $150 for like just the front train, and that's it.
If
Not
we're
talking
going
about
into
the
this
roads
hobbies being expensive, have you seen Magic the Gathering? Magic the Gathering, a box of cards, just a box of cards, like for a package, like of just cards that you buy and open, costs as much as a freaking Switch 2.
Yeah, if you were trying to get the new Final Fantasy box set, you're gonna be like, they're going on eBay for like $1,000.
Yeah, so like if we're talking about expensive hobbies, gaming is expensive. But when I was a child, my family again was poor. We bought like one game. I bought like one game a year, or I got like games on discount. So I played a lot of like cheap bargain bin games that were like probably like some of the worst games ever made, or just didn't sell, and I would get like a $5 game that was being sold, and I'm like, I love this game. I play it for 50 billion hours because I'm a child and I don't know any different. I feel like people just kind of forgot that was how like most people's childhoods were. They were just like, they'd buy one game a year, or my family would give them one game a year, and you would play the shit out of that game forever until you got like another birthday or something like that. Or if you got lucky and your friend like was tired of a game and you'd borrowed a game from your friend or something. But like most people who like nowadays, I feel like this generation, because like gaming didn't change prices or anything for a while, like the new generations are just like, I can't buy every single game that's ever come out ever. This is too expensive now. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, even just think, if you're gonna buy a Mario Kart and you're a Mario Kart fan, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had people playing it from essentially, not even counting the original version, but still played to this day somehow. Like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was straight up 10 years of content.
Yeah.
10 years with new maps and stuff to play too. Like that game is like, if you just thinking about like games that you will want to play for a long time, Nintendo games are almost always worth replaying and revisiting.
Like Mario Odyssey is a great example of that. There's so much crazy shit you can do in Mario Odyssey for fun. Like this because that game is so open and so good. And so many people just played that game for like the entirety of that since it's come out. People still stream that game of just challenges.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So like that's crazy. Like that game is still super popular. It's been like 6 years.
Meanwhile, like even like other games, like say for example, like that cowboy game, Red Dead Redemption 2. That game has been pretty much praised as like one of the greatest games of all time, but it's not streamed as much or played as much as Mario Kart or Mario Odyssey or Mario 64 or Mario World. Really, like it's like replay value matters. I will say like Stardew Valley, I would gladly, like having played it,
That's like a $200 game right there. For the
Yeah.
amount of love and fun that I've had with Stardew Valley, if we were to put a price on entertainment, Stardew Valley should be like $200, $300.
Yeah. And
Minecraft's like a $2,000 game.
like my ex played that game for like 30,000 hours or something. Like it's like an insane number. Like my god, that game is addictive. Not only that, you can mod the shit out of it. So you like that stuff too. One thing I hope that Nintendo eventually lets us do, and it definitely won't be this generation, but eventually
in-game modding.
just let modding be a thing. Like
Yeah.
I think it will happen one day, but I think like a lot of the older Nintendo sticks will have to die.
I kind of feel like it's kind of reaching out. I think that's why Switch 1, like the later game releases, and the Switch 2, why I have so much hope for it, is because the torches are being passed right now.
Yeah.
Miyamoto is even like, he's more intrigued about like the theme park and the museum. I think Nintendo actually is getting with the times. I think that's why this console is more expensive, and they put so much power into the graphics. And like even adding the mouse and adding like us getting the Super Mario RPG remake was proof to me that the torch has been passed.
Yeah,
I
agree.
think the torch is passed, and we're about to. I think this is about to be the new age for Nintendo. Like I think they're about to take over.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of newer people taking control of stuff, and in a good way. And that's something that like years ago Reggie Fils-Aimé said that like needed to happen, because he's like, Reggie's one of those people. He by the way, not a lot of people know this.
He fought for the sports being free,
Reggie
right?
was like the reason that we got Wii Sports for free. Like he pushed that so hard against Nintendo, and he's like, the older executives are so hard to deal with there because they just don't understand advertising. They don't understand like how to push products properly, and like he's like, they need a younger generation in there to like do stuff. And I think it's like a thing that like one of the reasons he left the company was because he was just tired of fighting them all the time. Because he's like just didn't understand. Like, and I think that really is proven by like the tutorial game in the Switch 2 costing money. Like that's just the older generation that's still there going, no, why are we giving this product away for free? Like
Yeah, it's like we gotta sell everything.
yeah,
It's
we
like,
have to make money on
let's-
everything we put time into. And no, you don't. And I can give you great examples of DLC and games that have been free, have significantly made games better.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was like $60 when it came out. If you have the Nintendo Online, all the DLC for it, which is literally double the tracks that it came out with it on release, was free. Meanwhile, Sims 4 to play the full game as it is right now is over $1,000.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons I can never play that game.
So if you want to play Sims 4 in its complete state as of right now, it's over $1,000.
See, there's a bunch of games that do that, and this like, and I hate it. Is like either games will
People
hide
don't count it.
content, people don't even think about it when like, but people like just look at DLC as like optional stuff, and a lot of times it's not. A lot of times it's like half the game in DLC. And one of the worst ways to do DLC is the FOMO version, and that is like the freaking battle pass crap, where they hide like actual game features behind.
If you want
battle
the best
passes.
guns, you gotta have the battle pass. If you want the best skills, you have to have the battle pass. And
I looked forward to for fucking years. It was Blood Bowl 3. Blood Bowl 2 was probably one of the best games. Like it's American football and D&D. And it is super good. Like Blood Bowl 2 is one of the best games I ever played. It was super fun with friends. You could do leagues. It was great. It's an amazing turn-based game that you played.
Blood Bowl 3 was so bad with the DLC, it actually killed 2 at the same time.
Yes.
It actually killed the series.
Blood Bowl 3, they hid teams behind freaking paywalls, basically. Like and time sinks. You had to play constantly to unlock teams and pay money like every league. So they're forcing you to play just to get teams, and teams are like the entire point of the game. Like teams gave the games like every team had their own personality and stuff, and you had to like time sync everything because it was all on their battle passes. They pushed everything on battle passes. The game was already freaking like full price. So like you bought the freaking Blood Bowl 3, and then like in order to get the teams that you wanted to play with or other teams that they were bringing out progressively, which by the way they only started with like 4 teams at the beginning of that. all the teams were just locked behind these fake fucking like time things and time gates. It freaking destroyed that game. I lost all hype for that game. I have never refunded a game before, ever. And I reached out to Steam and I said I want my money back for this game because this game is a ripoff. And I've never done that before. I had a whole series planned that I wanted to do with Blood Bowl 3 because I was that excited for Blood Bowl 3. And when it came out, I was never more devastated by that game being so fucked up by like DLC time-gated garbage.
Oh, it is absolutely insane how stuff like that kills games, and yet Nintendo is to blame.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hashtag blame Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's the reason the costs are going up, and now Nintendo's the reason. Yeah, gee, come on.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it's definitely
We
not
all know
because
it's
it's definitely not
fault.
because of the economy or anything else. And Nintendo's definitely not just taking a loss on their console still.
No, it's
Still,
Nintendo.
no.
It's Nintendo's fault, guys. It's
Yeah.
Nintendo's fault.
We're just a bunch of Nintendo shills.
I know, right? Oh no, I can't wait to shill and play a bunch of good games.
Man, I hate good games.
I know, right? It's awful.
All right, well, I'm out of things to talk about.
Yeah, I think we're good for
Same.
this episode.
I've been out, man. Like,
I think we're basically all at the same point. Is like I think we're all excited for Nintendo Switch 2. The launch is probably gonna be okay. I think later
Yeah.
games are gonna be good. I think they're gonna progressively just bring out more stuff. I think the enhanced versions are gonna make the beginning really good.
The enhanced game is what's going to save like the beginning of it, and also with everyone complaining about how expensive it is, like it's just kind of wild to me because there's so many games that people already know they love. Like I've seen so many people that be like, oh, I love Kirby, I can't wait for the new DLC, but and I'm like, but it's so expensive. Like, well, literally, you don't have to pay anything extra than what you're already paying.
Sarah says they're making
access it.
$4 on the Switches.
$4 profit margin every console.
Yeah. Wow. What a greedy company.
They're so
Meanwhile,
greedy.
PS5 Pros though, you gotta buy those. $700. They're definitely not greedy. They're
only $700. They're what the godsends at Sony, but Nintendo.
And then Xbox, of course, they just also raised their console prices for a console that's been out for like 5 years. But and
console is out for 5 years.
They're
now
also
more.
They're also more expensive than the Switch 2, by the way. For 5-year-old hardware.
Yeah.
But Nintendo's the one that's wrong.
Yeah.
Now with 100% less physical copy playability.
Yay.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, there's really there's no ownership with games anymore. It feels.
I mean, I think that's just a liability thing that like gamers have to eventually push for in general. I don't think that's necessarily Nintendo or any company. That is just a way the industry is kind of pushing, and it's something that I think people have to just push back on. As like as just a group of gamers, we just eventually have to get to the point where it's like we just need to push back on that, or force them to make it to where online libraries never cut off your access.
Yeah.
Because I think that's like something that needs to be done in like contracts when you buy a game. Like, I bought this game, it is mine forever. Screw off. Like
here is a weird controversial take. That was supposed to kind of be what NFTs were supposed to do. Like you buy a game key, a la an NFT key for access to that game, and you're supposed to own access to that game forever. It just ended up being AI art monkeys instead.
Yep.
The good that NFTs could have been was just completely destroyed by people, because of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was ruined by people who were trying to get rich.
Yep.
Yeah, now they're worth nothing. Like
now they're worth nothing.
They're worth nothing.
I remember a bunch of multimillionaires who like just invested all their money into that shit and then all went bankrupt, and I just laughed.
Yeah. It's just like
I think I remember hearing like I think it was like Justin Bieber bought one of those stupid dumbass monkeys. And
he had to sell like his whole catalog of music recently.
Yeah, he had to sell off everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it dropped in value so much that he like lost like.
Oh no,
hundreds of
Justin Bieber, one of the
actually,
worst music artists ever, had to lose everything. I'm so sad for him.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, he's still gonna be and have all the wealth in the world.
Yeah, he'll be fun.
Oh my god, that reminds me of like Kanye's fashion lines and shit like that. Oh my god.
Jeez.
Oh. So many celebrities like lose everything and then bounce back to like millionaires like for nothing.
Yeah.
It's insane. Anyway, I think we're good for this episode. Dan, I think you're gonna set up for stream now? You're not doing
I'm taking
that.
today
You're
off.
taking today
Yeah,
off.
not me.
Okay, let's find a
Yeah.
different place to raid then. But overall, I think this was a great episode. We had talked about a lot of stuff. We'll work on our next episode this week and see who wants to come for that. Trip, thanks for coming. Dan,
No
thanks for coming.
problem.
Thanks for having me.
I think we pretty much had a pretty good episode.
Chat hated it, obviously.
I mean, yeah,
Oh, for sure.
it's fine. And then I'll edit this and take out all the parts where I cough.
Next time, less almonds.
It's not apparently the almonds. I started having a running nose. Like I think it's just allergies.
Good old allergies.
You just gotta stop being allergic to almonds.
Yeah.
Keep the coughs, only the coughs. Edit everything else out.
Who do we want to raid? Anybody have a target for me?
I don't even know who's even streaming right now, to be honest. Oh yeah, I went on Twitter to make fun of Opto and I forgot.
I went on Twitter to make fun of Opto. That's the last thing I remember.
The Dosquirrel has changed their name to Miri, and they are streaming for like one of their first times today.
Okay.
I think this is their first time using a their PNG to
put their name in chat so I can just copy it.
Yeah. They're now Miri. That's Dosquirrel.
Nice. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for coming. We'll have another one of these next Sunday. Different people will be here. We don't know who yet, but somebody. And yeah, we'll have a new topic to talk about. Yeah, and some of these are probably going to be very specific topics. So some of them will be longer than others. Some of them will probably be shorter, but we'll see how it goes.
Next week's episode: SGDQ sex orgy parties.
Yeah, pervs and spices. Let's go.
Herbs and spices. Why would Trip do this?
But until next time, everybody, bye-bye.